What's going on, brothers? What's going on? It is your dude, Mr. International Passport, here again for yet another Future Classic live stream. First and foremost, though, how is my audio? Mayday, Mayday, check 1 2, check 1 2. Is my audio clean, clear, and crisp? Do you brothers hear me loud and clear? How is my audio? Are we good? Press on 1 in the live stream chat. Sam can hear me. Thank you, Sam, for confirming. But can you brothers in the live stream chat hear me loud and clear, just so there's no technical issues going on? Baseball Clip says we're good. Awesome. So as you know, I'll be teaching Python coming very, very soon. There's only 3 or 4 spots left. You know what to do. Go on Patreon. Look for the tier called the Ultimate Python course, July 2024, and book your slot there before it all goes away. There's only 3 or 4 slots left in the Python course. I'll be teaching that very, very soon. You miss out. I ain't gonna open any more spots, okay? So go on the Patreon and book the final slots. Aside from that, please like the video, show some support, hit the super chats, hit the PayPal, cop the merch, book your IT consultations for IT advice and guidance. And of course, throughout tonight, if you can support, that'd be greatly appreciated. So let's get straight into it, okay? Mr. Sam, how you doing, bro?
I'm good. How are you, IP?
I'm doing fantastic, bro. That's a very nice jumper, Mr. Sam.
Hey, thanks, man. I know we Americans aren't as stylish as you Brits across the pond, but yeah, some of us do our best.
Awesome, bro. Awesome. So, Sam, thank you for your time, brother. But before we go any further into this topic and conversation, do you mind giving us a brief intro as to who you are, where you're from, and anything interesting about you, bro?
Sure. Hello, everyone. My name is Sam Combo. I've been on the podcast twice before, spoke about Norway and Iceland last year. So this is my 3rd time coming on to the podcast. Thank you again, IP, for having me on. I'm originally from Boston in New England in the US. Divide my time between Boston and New York City for work. I work in film and television, and that's pretty much everything about me. Yeah.
Awesome, bro. Awesome. Fantastic intro there, Sam. So, Sam, you were in Portugal recently. Where were you in Portugal specifically?
I was in the Azores, the autonomous island region, more specifically the island of São Miguel. So about 800 miles from the mainland where Lisbon is, west. Yeah.
Awesome, bro. And brother, what made you go there in the first place? Why that place, why that country? What was the reason so, bro?
So one of my buddies, Richard, actually got married. So the wedding ceremony was actually taking place in the Azores in São Miguel Island. His fiance, his now wife, is Portuguese. So the family was insistent that they have the wedding ceremony in the Azores. So that's why I flew out there.
Awesome, bro. Fantastic, brother. So let's get straight into it, bro. Okay. So that was your first time in Portugal, I'm assuming.
Yes.
Okay, awesome, brother. So when it came to accommodation, brother, in Portugal, in the Azores, was it Airbnb you were staying in? Was it hotel? Break it down for me, brother.
So I stayed in the Grand Hotel. The Grand Hotel is one of the 5-star hotels that they have out in Ponta Delgada. Ponta Delgada is the capital of São Miguel Island, or I guess the largest city in the Azores. Specifically, São Miguel Island, where I was, is the largest island. So there's 9 islands in the Azores, and São Miguel is the largest one. And Ponta Delgada is the largest main city in all of the Azores Islands. So I stayed at the Grand Hotel, which was right in the downtown area of the city of Ponta Delgada. Really nice hotel, by the way. So shout out to them.
Awesome, bro. Fantastic. I'm in the hotel gate, had all the services, the food was great, dinner was great, the housekeeping was great, the whole thing was great in the hotel.
Yeah, everything was great. Very top-notch 5-star service. Quite a bit expensive. The only reason I kind of splurged was because I was on vacation and I hadn't traveled in like 9-10 months. So that's why I was kind of like itching to kind of ball out. I kind of pick up some habits from Theo Waff. Shout out to Theo. I hope he's watching this podcast. Yeah.
Awesome, bro. Awesome. So, next question for you, brother. So, when you were in Portugal, the Azores, brother, I'm assuming you saw a lot of things there. So, I want to ask you, who's in power there? Who has the most power there? Who's in control? Is it the white Portuguese people? Is it the Chinese? Is it some sort of other people? Who's actually running that country?
From what I've noticed, it's the Caucasian, I guess you'd call them Caucasian white Portuguese people. There are a lot of immigrants in Portugal, especially if you go to the mainland, whether you go to Lisbon or the city of Porto or the city of Braga or the city of Coimbra. There's a lot of immigrants from like Equatorial Guinea, Angola, Cape Verde, Brazil, because all of these places, Sao Tome, these were all like, Portuguese colonies way back in the day, but are now independent. So you do have a lot of immigrants in Portugal that are spread out. In the island of São Miguel and the Azores, you probably won't see too many black people. I saw maybe a handful, and I could imagine that a few of them were immigrants because they would like kind of really like stare at you really hard, almost as if they were surprised to see another black person over there. Because, like, mind you, São Miguel Island, where I was, is like 800 miles west of mainland Portugal. So yeah, it's pretty far out there. So like, I guess when like these immigrants, like the black immigrants, will see you, they'll like stare hard at you. And it's kind of funny. I'm just like, yeah, I'm just another black person like you. I don't know why you're staring so hard, but yeah.
Awesome, bro. Awesome. So, next question for you, Sam, right? So, is in terms of, so you're an American brother. So, as a Western black man, how were you treated there, brother, as a Western black man in Portugal by the people?
I would say overall, I was treated very well. I had no issues as far as prejudice, or I never felt like I experienced any racism. If anything, I felt very welcome and very accepted there, even though I was only there for about 9 or 10 days, to celebrate the wedding and to like, explore and, do some hiking and do some sightseeing. Everyone that I crossed paths with was very accommodating and very resourceful as well. And what I found Portuguese people, I've met Portuguese people here in the States as well, because in Massachusetts, where I'm from, especially in the South Shore of Massachusetts, there's actually quite a large Portuguese community, and there's a lot of Brazilians here as well. So I've had the opportunity to interact with some of these Brazilians and these Portuguese people, and they're probably the most open, friendly, most accepting, kindest people that you'll possibly ever meet. So when I went to the Azores, to the Portuguese islands, I wasn't surprised to find that same warmth and that welcoming spirit that they have, and it's something that was very endearing to me. So I really respected them for that. I never felt like I was discriminated against at all, ever.
Awesome, bro. Awesome. So, next question for you, brother. Right. So, in terms of investments, business, opportunities, investing in the country, are there any sorts of business opportunities that we as passport bros could take advantage of in Portugal?
Tourism is booming a lot in Portugal. The reason why is because Portugal is seen right now as one of the more like budget friendly like vacation spots to travel to in Europe, compared to like other places like maybe like Scandinavian countries like Iceland or Norway or like even the UK. Portugal, you find prices are like cheaper, like prices going out drinking at bars and nightclubs, prices going out to eat. Overall, even like the living costs are much lower in Portugal. What I've heard is that a lot of expats, even from the United States, are moving out to Portugal and just, retiring or living over there because, I mean, inflation in the United States is getting kind of crazy high and the cost of living is getting a little bit insane, quite frankly. And even like people from the UK, I've heard, are going out to Portugal as well. And I was surprised because I thought like a lot of these expats were going to like Spain or like Bali or like Thailand or something. But yeah, no, you'll actually run into quite a number of expats in Portugal. Yeah, they're all over the place over there.
Awesome, awesome, bro. Fantastic. So, next question for you, brother, is now in terms of let's see here, uh, people. So, but from your personal experience, how are Portuguese people like? Are they kind people? Are they introverts, extroverts? Are they horrible people, harsh people? Break it down for you, bro.
I would say it's a mixture of both. You'll meet some folks who are a little bit introverted and shy, especially the ones who don't speak English too good. What I noticed in the Azores Islands, it's like a 50-50 shot. Like 50% of people speak very good English, and then maybe like the other 50% probably don't speak the best English because like I was cold approaching a couple of chicks and a couple of them did not speak any English. So like I had to like pull out the Google Translate real quick because obviously I didn't like bother to learn like a large vocabulary of Portuguese. I just kind of learned like the basics because I was only going to be there for 9 or 10 days. So obviously, you know, I learned like the greetings and like the salutations and things like that. Like hola, como estás? Muito bom, tudo bem? You know, obrigado, de nada. You know, the basic stuff. But what I found was, yeah, half of the population there, their English is not great, and like the other half, they speak like really good English. So like especially when you go to like the hotels or if you go to like the gyms to work out or the restaurants and the cafes, most of the people in the service industry speak very good English. But then like if you go out and you're cold approaching chicks at nighttime in like bars and clubs and stuff, you'll find like half of them speak really good English and the other half don't speak the greatest English. So yeah.
Awesome, bro. So next question for you now is, so in your time in Portugal, how did you meet people and make friends there, brother? I think that's very important for us to know.
So the wedding party for the wedding that I went to, I linked up with a couple of the Americans from the wedding party because I knew a few of them because some of us were actually from Boston, where I'm from. So we would like go out to the bars and the clubs, and we would like do like excursions and tourist activities together. And then when I wasn't with the wedding party, going out and you know exploring and stuff, I would just go out by myself, like check out some like museums, like the Museum de Machta, which is in Ponta Delgada, a really beautiful art museum that I would recommend any of you brothers to check out. Or I would go to Set Cidade, which is a hiking region where you can see like all these beautiful lakes and waterfalls. And, you know, there's also like some cute surrounding villages that you can explore as well. So while I wasn't with the Americans from the wedding party, I would just go out by myself and just kind of explore and do some sightseeing myself. And then also I would use Instagram to like slide in DMs of some chicks. And so I was kind of doing all of the above.
Awesome, bro. Fantastic. So now transportation. So you were in the Azores, right? I'm assuming that's an island in Portugal. Is that, it's like a small island, I'm guessing?
So the Azores is the name of the autonomous region of the island. So there's 9 islands in total. So the largest island is São Miguel, where I was in the city of Ponta Delgada. And then there's Faial Island, there's Santa Maria Island, there's Pico Island, and then I forgot the name of the other islands, but the other islands are a bit smaller. And typically tourists don't go to these islands except for maybe like a 1 day or 2 day tourist excursion. But most of the time, most tourists go to São Miguel Island because that's just the largest one with like more things to do.
Okay. So, but in terms of transportation, right? How did you move around then? Was it by Uber? Was it by subway, train, bus? Break it down for us, bro.
So there is no Uber in the Azores and there is no subway. There are buses and taxis, but the taxis only take cash. So just bear that in mind. And like Portugal uses the euro, so like just like go to any ATM and take out some euros if you're going to use the taxis. I also rented a car, which helped a lot when I was going to do like some hiking outside the city because it's a beautiful island to explore and the buses typically don't leave the city center. So if you're going to explore the island and you don't want to rent a car, maybe I would say maybe book like a tourist excursion event online prior to arriving to the island and then maybe booking a tour guide to like maybe pick you up from your accommodation in like a shuttle bus and they'll probably take you wherever you want to go if you want to explore. But I rented a car, so I was doing mostly driving myself.
Oh wow. Okay, awesome, bro. So, but you're saying the American license, driving license, works in Portugal?
Yes, as long as you have a license, American license, you're good. You don't need like an international driving pass or anything like that. Just show up with your license and you'll be fine.
Awesome, bro. Awesome. So in Portugal, brother, is it when you were there, is it cashless or is it cash heavy in the Azores?
I noticed for the most part it's cashless, but there are a few like I guess run out of the mill like cafes that might only take cash. But for the most part, most places do take card. It's just the taxis, they don't take card, they only take cash. That's what I noticed as far as cash goes.
Okay, awesome, bro. Awesome. So now, food. Tell me more about Portuguese food. Is Portuguese food tasty? If so, what was your favorite Portuguese cuisine?
Yeah, Portuguese food is good, man. Like I've had the pleasure of trying a little bit of Portuguese food here in the States because I've dealt with a couple Portuguese women in my time. But yeah, I think baklava would probably be my favorite dish that I've had. It's like a codfish dish, and there's like all these other different kinds of dishes that you can try out there, and it tastes good too. And it's nice because like there's no like GMOs in the food over there like there is here in the States. I mean, in the States here, the food is completely oversaturated with sodium and salts and all these different kinds of oils. So it's kind of nice going to like Portugal where their food, they don't, make the food in the same way. And so it feels more healthier, almost as though you're kind of losing weight. And the food's more affordable there too, which I also noticed. It's way cheaper as far as cost. Yeah, which is good.
Okay. Did you have a favorite cuisine there, like a favorite dish?
I tried a bunch of different things, but like baklava, I'm a big seafood guy. So like codfish, anything to do with fish, that's usually my favorite. Yeah.
Bacalhau. How do you spell that? How do you spell that, please?
Oof, I have no idea how to spell it, but it's a codfish dish. Yeah. If you like seafood, I think you probably would enjoy it.
Awesome, bro. Awesome. Fantastic intel so far. So now, brother, okay, cost of living. So when you compare prices of Portugal, right, to America, uh, how much more cheaper is Portugal compared to America in terms of transportation, food, overall living costs? Break it down for me, bro.
Being in the Azores, it's very affordable, far much cheaper than the prices here in the States. But at the same time, in Massachusetts, where I live for the most part, or if I go to New York, these are both very high tax states. And like everything is like dumb expensive, like a little bit outrageous, quite frankly. But yeah, over there in the Azores, you find that prices are very low, very economical, and very affordable too. So you feel like you're not really spending all that much money if you're going out to eat or if you're like getting something to drink, which I feel like is probably why a lot of expats are going out to Portugal and they're setting up bases there because they're just like, you know what, like inflation's crazy, like in the United States or in the UK, and like enough is enough. So they're gonna go somewhere where at least they feel like their money can stretch and they can live, more quietly. And Portugal's very safe too, for the most part. Like I never felt like I was in any danger walking around at night, like in São Miguel. Now Lisbon's a different story because Lisbon's on the mainland. I do know that there's a pickpocket issue that's pretty big in Lisbon. So if you're on the mainland in Lisbon, I would say watch out for that. But yeah, overall, very economical, very affordable. I mean, I think there's a reason why so many expats are going out there. Yeah, but I feel like
Did you?
eventually. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, IP.
No, you go.
No, what I was gonna say is I feel like because the reason why so many expats are going out there because like things are much more affordable, life pace is slow, people take things one day at a time. But at the same time, what usually happens is if so many expats kind of cower over one central area, that place eventually drives prices up for the local people, which I think is happening even in Barcelona right now. Like you got people in Barcelona, Spaniards, like protesting about tourists because all the Airbnbs are being made for tourists and people can't find housing. So these are issues that I think Portugal will soon find itself in very soon.
Awesome, bro. So, bro, let me ask this then. So, when you were there in Portugal, did you see like a lot of black people there? Not only black Portuguese people, but black Americans there. What was it like a sizable population of black people there?
I saw only one Black American there when I was hiking in Set Cidade, when I was exploring the mountains out there outside the city. I knew he was Black American because I heard his accent. And also, the lady that he was with he was also American because her accent was clear as day. And the rest of the Black people I saw were definitely immigrants. Yeah. It was funny. I was in a bar once with my buddy Rich, who was getting married. And we were sitting down just having drinks, just chit chatting. And then this African gentleman walks in. He's like staring at us, like he's staring at us like this, like really hard. And like my buddy Rich, like he's a white dude, so he was like, "Oh, what's this dude's problem? Like, why is he staring at us like that?" And I was just like, "Well, I think it's because I'm black, and there's not too many black people out here, so that's why he's staring." And then Rich was like, "Oh," like he couldn't understand it, obviously, because he's a white dude, right? So yeah, it was kind of weird. And then like for 15 minutes, this guy was like staring at us, and then he just comes up to us and he goes, "Hey," and he goes, and he gives us a fist bump. We're just like, okay, and it was very bizarre, but yeah, it happened.
Interesting. So, but wait, so you could say there's a sizable population of black people in Portugal.
There is, especially on the mainland. If you're in Lisbon or like the major cities like Porto, Braga, Coimbra, you will see like a lot of like black people, especially from like I said before, the former colonies, Equatorial Guinea, Sao Tome, Cape Verde, Angola, and Brazil. Obviously, Brazil was the largest Portuguese colony for the longest time. So.
Awesome, awesome, bro. So, my brother, how did they receive you, the native black Portuguese people?
Well, like I said, I only saw very few. That was my one interaction I had with one of them, and it was a little bizarre. So I guess if they see you out there on the islands, they'll be surprised because even São Miguel, even though it's the largest island in the Azores, it's only about population-wise maybe 140, 150,000 people in total, and majority of them are Caucasian Portuguese, obviously, right? So there's not a lot of immigrants there. And one of the ladies that I met up with, what she was telling me basically was, unfortunately, with the immigrants who come there, they're usually given like very low wage paying jobs and like economically, like they're not living in like the greatest parts of the city per se. So that is something that was told to me, which I could definitely see and notice when I was there. But I just saw so few of them there. So, it was interesting because I would get a lot of stares from the local Portuguese people. And what I'm sure the reason why they were staring, they were probably trying to figure out like where I was from and what I was doing there. Yeah, so they'll probably stare at you a lot, but eventually you just get used to it and it's not going to bother you as much.
Awesome, bro. So, brother, safety, right? So, while you're there in Portugal, how safe was it for you, brother?
In San Miguel, I felt totally safe. Like me and my buddies would walk around 2, 3, 4 in the morning. We didn't feel like there was any danger. And even the girls that we were with, they would tell us like, yeah, it's very safe. Like there's not really much crime here, things like that. There's a police presence there for sure. But like I noticed when I was driving on the highways, I didn't see any cops like anywhere. So what I've noticed is because the cops don't like hang out on the highways patrolling like the speedways, people kind of drive like crazy over there. So if you do rent a car and you're in San Miguel, be careful because people literally drive like maniacs over there because like the cops don't really regulate speeding. So that's just something else that you're gonna have to think about if you're gonna rent a car.
Awesome, awesome, bro. So, next question for you, brother, is racism. So, as a Black American man, did you experience any sort of racism in the Azores?
No, none. As a matter of fact, I felt very welcome. Yeah, the ladies are very friendly. They'll want to talk to
you. Interesting. And we'll get there, brother. We'll get there. Interesting. So, brother, no N word used towards you, no Portuguese slurs, no weird looks, racist looks at all towards you, brother. It was all good.
Curious looks for sure. Curious looks. You at first you might maybe think that they're racist looks, but actually I think it's just straight up curiosity, like just trying to figure out like who you are, where you're from. Because even one of the girls that I spoke to, the Portuguese girl, she told me like the thing about Southern Europeans, they stare a lot. Like I don't know, I think you've been to like Spain before, IP. I don't know if you've noticed this, but
Yeah.
Southern Europeans, they stare at you hard. You know what I mean? And I think in like the Southern European culture, they just were never taught when they were young in primary school that maybe it's best not to stare at people too much. Like here in the United States, like if you're staring at someone, like people think like, oh, like what's up? Like we got beef. But over there, it's like they just be staring like just like it's normal. You know what I mean?
Yes, indeed, bro. So next question for you, brother, is so far, based on your experience so far, and there are more questions for coming from me. Would you see yourself living in Portugal? And tell us why.
Yeah, maybe in some alternate universe, it would be something I would consider. I would consider for sure, but there's a lot of other factors that I would strongly consider before making a decision like that. What I mean by this is because what I've noticed, service in Portugal is very slow. If you're from like the West, if you're from the UK, from Canada or Australia or any of these Western countries or any country in Europe where you're used to very quick service, very efficient service, very strong communication, in Portugal, you won't really find that. The reason why is because people, processes move very slow, service is very slow. If you're calling taxis, that's very slow. Everything is at a much slower pace. People take their time over there with things and getting things done. And even like I've heard like other like expats on YouTube complain about this because they're so used to like, in the West, like everything is quick, 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 fast service, fast communication. Not in Portugal. In Portugal, you're going to have to learn to be very patient because people take things one step at a time. And it's usually on their time, not your time.
Amazing, fantastic, bro. So next question for you, brother, is culture. So in your time in the Azures, right? Is it a conservative culture over there? Is it a liberal culture? Is it a mixture of both? Break it down for us, bro.
I would say it's a mixture of both because if you look at the current government that's running the show in Portugal right now, they got a prime minister, the guy by the name of Luis Montenegro, right? He's right wing. His party is the Democratic Socialist Party. Now, when you hear the term Democratic Socialist Party, I'm sure you're thinking, wait, isn't that like a liberal party? No. In Portugal, these party terms work a little bit different. So Luis Montenegro was recently elected. He's from the Democratic Socialist Party, and they're considered by Portuguese standards to be center right wing. The reason why is because if you look at their policies on immigration, economic reform, and all these other laws that they put into action and they put into writing, it's very center right wing. Versus the government that was in power before Luis Montenegro, a guy by the name of Antonio Costa, he was as left-wing liberal as liberal gets, which is very opposite from Luis Montenegro.
Oh wow, interesting. But from what you saw culture-wise, right, as to how women act, how they dress, the whole liberal agenda that's happening in America, did you see over there in Portugal?
No, not to the same degree. And the reason why is because Southern Europe is a very interesting dichotomy, right? Because if you look at Southern European countries as a whole, right, we're speaking about Portugal, obviously, but I want to compare. You have Portugal, you have Spain, you have France, you have Greece, you have Italy, these Southern European countries, right? If you notice, like, there's very similarities and differences between all of them. And in Portugal, what you find is women are independent as far as going to school, getting an education, wanting to work a job, and have a career. But at the end of the day, you find when you deal with them, you sit down, you have a cup of coffee with them, you get a drink with them, you talk to them for a couple hours, you still find that they still deep down they just want to be women. Versus if you go to France and Spain, those chicks definitely don't want to be women. They want to be men. I don't care what no one says. They want to be men, straight up.
Facts, absolute facts, bro. So, okay. So, next question for you, brother, is uh lifestyle. So, what kind of lifestyle were you living there in Portugal with your dollars, brother? Were you living like a upper class lifestyle, middle class lifestyle? Break it down for us, bro.
I felt like I was living upper class, man. And it's funny. I didn't even realize that it was quote unquote upper class, as you call it, until like I remember there was this Portuguese chick. We were walking late at night downtown, and then we were just talking, chit chatting, and then out of nowhere she asked me, "Okay, so where are you staying here in Ponta Delgada?" And like the hotel that I was staying at was literally right down the street from where we're walking. So I just pointed. I was like, "There," and then I pointed, and she looked, and she was like, "You're staying at the Grand Hotel?" I was like, "Yes." And she was like, "You're rich." I was like, "Wait, what?" And she was like, "Stop. That's one of the most expensive hotels in the Azores." What? I was like, "Wait, it is?" She's like, "Yeah." And she's like, "You know the Black Eyed Peas, the singing group?" I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "They stayed there when they came here." I was like, "Wait, for real?" She's like, "Yeah, they stayed right at the same hotel where you're staying at right now." I was like, "Oh, snap. Whoa, okay, okay."
Interesting. So, brother, how is the average Portuguese person living like though, from what you saw?
They live in very humble means because I believe what I heard was the minimum wage in Portugal is typically around 700 to 800 euros a month. So yeah, the average Portuguese person is not living in super affluent show off lifestyle. Like I don't know, I've never been to the mainland. All I'm speaking of is my experience in the Azores Islands. But from what I've noticed, they take things very slow over there and they live life one day at a time, like I mentioned before. And I'm sure a lot of them are, very affluent, probably have money. I don't know for sure. I mean, I know there's a lot of like actors who come out of Portugal, like Daniela Melchior, for example. I don't know if any of you saw the movie Suicide Squad, but she was actually in that movie, and she was also in the new Fast and Furious movie too. So yeah, they got an entertainment industry over there. They have their celebrities over there. So yeah, I would say they do have the glitz and glamour of the rich over there, but the average Portuguese person doesn't live that way. Yeah, not as rich and affluent, I don't think. And the cost of living is much lower compared to like other like countries in Europe, like the UK, for example, where you're from, IP, where I'm sorry to say the cost of living in the UK, especially in London, is getting kind of crazy over there. Like my goodness, but yeah.
Awesome, bro. Awesome. So now, brother, in your time there, what are things to do there in terms of hobbies? Having that tourist experience there in the Azores. What are things to do there in your opinion?
Yeah, definitely check out the museums that they have downtown in Ponta Delgada. I had the pleasure to attend the Museum Machado, which is the art museum that they had there. A lot of beautiful relics and artifacts in that museum. And then there's also a military museum that they also have downtown Ponta Delgada. And that goes over the history of the colonies and how, the Portuguese at one time were a superpower in the world back in the day. I mean, they had colonies all over the place. Like they were competing against the UK, they were competing against Spain, basically in a rat race. Like who could get as like the most colonies, who could get the most wealth, who could exploit the most influence from these other nations. So that military museum goes into details as to the occupations that happened in each of these colonies. The occupations in Equatorial Guinea, the occupations in Brazil, the occupation in Cape Verde, the occupation in Angola. You know, it goes over the history of those times. So I learned a lot when I was there. And then also you can go outside Ponce Delgado, go to Sete Cidades, go to the little neighboring villages outside the city. Go to Furnash. Furnash is a very like quaint little village outside of Ponta Delgada that you can walk through and explore. And yeah, I learned a lot of things. I talked to locals, and I tried to interact with people as much as I could. And yeah, you will learn a lot about Portuguese culture there. It's interesting because when you talk to people in the Azores, they won't even identify really right away as Portuguese. They'll identify as Azorians. I mean, that's how tight knit they are with their Azorian island culture. Like they'll tell you, "Oh yeah, I'm Portuguese, but I'm an Azorian," and I'm just like, "Well, yeah, but you're Portuguese still, right?" It's like, "Yes, but I'm an Azorian because I'm from the Azores." It's like, "Okay, okay, chill. I get it. Okay."
Facts, bro. So, next question for you, brother, is now in terms of language. So, do you gotta know Portuguese, or is English enough in your opinion?
English is enough as far as working, like dealing with people who are in the service industry. But when you're cold approaching in the bars and clubs like I did, I noticed some of these chicks, they don't really speak English that great. So it would help you to at least try to learn a little bit of Portuguese, but you're going to want to learn European Portuguese. Brazilian Portuguese won't really get you that far because you're going to be in Portugal and Europe. So the thing about European Portuguese and Brazilian Portuguese, like yes, it's the same language, but a lot of the verbs, the nouns, the adjectives, the way of saying things are very different. Like for example, like in Brazilian Portuguese, like you'll say like, oh, like como vai, like how are you? But in Portugal, they'll say like, oh, como estás? Like there's two different ways of saying how are you, you know? But you know, a lot of the salutations are similar, but there's some words that are very different. Actually, I actually bought this book off Amazon to kind of just learn like a little bit of like phrases in Portuguese. And there was this other book that I got actually off Amazon. This kind of helped a little bit too. So yeah, make sure it's European Portuguese, guys, not Brazilian Portuguese. You're going to Portugal and Europe. You're not going to Brazil. If you're going to Brazil, learn Brazilian Portuguese from like Duolingo or something. But yeah.
So, brother, would you say when you were there, brother, English was enough to get by the new English Portuguese people?
Yeah, overall English was enough to get by. Like I was still dealing with the ladies there, but yeah, there are some ladies that you might walk up to, like in a bar one night, and they might not speak English. So just warning you.
Awesome, bro. So, next question for you, brother, is weather. So, how was weather like in Portugal when you were there?
In the Azores, it's very bipolar because it's an autonomous region, right? And it's like 800 miles away from the mainland. So the weather's so bipolar, you can literally have like maybe 2 or 3 seasons in one day. Like in the morning, it could be like dreary and rainy and cloudy, and by the afternoon, it'll just like clear up and it'll be sunny and like humid again. So yeah, I would say definitely pack accordingly. Even if you're going in the summertime, you better pack a rain jacket, pack an umbrella, pack some long sleeves just in case, because you never know, the weather can change like very quickly.
Awesome, bro. So now, brother, obviously we got some IT bros here, and I'm sure you use the internet over there in Portugal. How was internet strength and speed there, brother, in Portugal?
Overall, yeah, the internet speed was quick. Yeah. I was surprised because, like, in general, service in Portugal was a bit slower than in the United States than what I'm used to. But, you know, I didn't complain too much. I knew what I was getting into. But yeah, the internet speed was quick, surprisingly.
Awesome, bro. So, brother, nightlife. Tell me more about the nightlife in Portugal. The good, the bad, the ugly. How is the nightlife scene there? The music they play. You want to know about the nightlife in the Azores, brother? Is it like the beach, the Leonardo DiCaprio movie? I'm not sure if you've seen that movie, brother.
I haven't seen The Beach actually, but I heard that's a good movie. Nightlife is good. Ponta Delgada, the main city in the Azores in San Miguel Island, it's a very small city. So like the nightlife is small as far as the number of bars you'll see. There's only like two, I guess, like you would call them nightclubs in the city, and then the rest of the places are like bars, basically. So like there's Ibiza Club, and then there's Elite Club. So those are the two, I guess, quote unquote, nightclubs that you'll find there. And then like the rest of the places are just like bars, you know, like just traditional bars. You go out, get a drink. Like there's no dance floor or anything like that. But even the bars are popping out there. You'll see them crowded with people, like up till 3 or 4 in the morning, which is a good sign. Yeah. And they have a couple bars out there too, because they have like a couple gorgeous beaches out there. So yeah, surfing is huge over there too. Yeah. There's actually a running joke in Europe that the Azores is the Hawaii of Europe. because of all the surfing that goes on over there.
What are the women wearing there, brother? In the nightlife.
I would say they're wearing, the regular, I guess, nightlife clothes that a woman would wear in the summertime, especially in a heated climate over there, because the humidity is kind of insane over there. So, I would say the women kind of dress according to that. Yeah, because it gets pretty humid over there. So,
Okay. And what kind of music do they play in the Portuguese nightlife, brother?
they'll play a mixture of everything. Like they'll play hip hop, they'll play R&B, and then they'll play Portuguese songs too. That you probably won't understand, but it sounds good. The women are dancing, so it's gonna still be a vibe, even though you may not necessarily understand what they're saying. So it's gonna be a mixture of all that.
Okay. So, brother, when it comes to hip hop, right, are they saying the N word, Portuguese people, when it comes up, or is it blurred out?
I never really heard anybody like saying the N word out loud. And if the N word was said in a song, I can't even recall whether it was or not. Yeah.
Okay. That's good, bro. That's good. Awesome. So, brother, tell me the bad parts about Portugal or the Azores when you were there, brother, that you didn't like.
Service is very slow over there. When I say service is slow, I mean service is slow. If you're dealing with people in the service industry, whether it's like food, getting a cup of coffee, dealing with like services in the hotel where you're staying at, you're going to find services very slow. It's not quick like maybe in other countries that you might be accustomed to. So you're going to have to adjust to that while you're over there. Yeah, people really take things at their own pace, at their own time. And then on top of that, even if you're going out to eat, like there's no tipping culture over there, right? So the waiters, the waitresses, they just get paid a straight up salary and that's it. So they're not incentivized to like bend over backwards to be at your beck and call every 6 seconds like they are here in the States. So that's another thing that brothers from America have to consider.
Okay, awesome, bro. Awesome. So should we travel alone or in a group to Azores, Portugal? What would you say, brother, in your opinion?
You can travel in a group if you want to, but you'll be just fine alone. Like overall, Portugal is a very safe country. And like if you're even in the mainland, if you're in Lisbon, Porto, Braga, Coimbra, I would say the most thing you have to worry about is the pickpockets because pickpocketing is pretty bad, especially in Lisbon for sure. But aside from that, you should be just fine as long as you're careful and cautious and you're taking precautions and you know how to move. I think if you traveled alone, you'd be just fine.
Okay, so brother, no, there was no physical threats towards you. No one's trying to step to you or run up on you like in the movies in America. You good?
No, no, no. I felt safer over there than I do in America, man, which is kind of crazy. It's like, man, why is it every time I travel, I feel safer in the other country than here? That's not a good sign.
Awesome, bro. Awesome. So within the Azores, right? Did you only visit the the did you only visit the capital city of the Azores, or did you go over the place?
Yeah, I went all over the place. So I went to Set Cidade, which is like the hiking region outside of Ponta Delgada, where all like the lakes and the mountains, and there's some volcanoes out there too. The Azores is a volcanoes region, so there are volcanoes that are active out there. So if you want to go hiking, you could probably see a couple of them if you get the chance to. So yeah, I went all over the place, and there's like cute little like villages outside of Ponta Delgada that you can walk around through and travel to. Fernage was one of them. This beautiful village, and the people there are very kind too, and they'll probably stare really hard at you because most of them probably haven't seen a black person in a while. But yeah, it's nice. It's very beautiful out there. I actually wish I could have stayed longer, to be honest. Yeah.
Awesome, bro. Awesome. Um, okay, trolls will get okay. Goodbye to that troll. Okay, awesome, bro. So let's get straight into it, brother. Okay, the woman part. So, Mr. Sam, okay, I'm gonna ask you a very important question, Mr. Sam. All right, and this question I'm gonna ask you, Sam, is probably the most important question in the history of mankind, bro. Okay, this question goes back centuries, right, from the very beginning, where God said, "Let there be light, let there be water." The question was there, bro. Okay, so, brother, this question is a question so well known that aliens in outer space, aliens, right, on Jupiter, on Mars, are even aware of this question, brother. Okay, brother, it's a question that can turn water into wine. Okay, it's a question that can cause meteorites, volcanoes, tsunamis, brother, and seismic shocks because it's so powerful. All right, and it's a question, brother, that can stop a meteorite from destroying planet Earth. The question for you, Sam, is: are the women in Portugal within the Azores checking heavy for black men and passport bros?
From my experience, yeah, they definitely were. Oh my goodness, man. I had a good time. I had a good time. I'll tell you, I really enjoyed myself.
Whoa, okay. So why are they checking for brothers? What is it about black men that Portuguese women like in that island?
Oh, I mean, they watch a lot of our movies, you know. They watch a lot of like, American film, a lot of American TV shows. So they're well acquainted with, I guess, the portrayal of, I guess, African American actors in mass media. And they have their own actors as well and their own like entertainment industry in Portugal. But yes, I think like mass media, of course, most of the world watches the mass media that comes out of America, whether it's film, TV, or anything else related. So, yeah, I would say mass media plays the biggest factor, just like any country around the world, I'd say.
Okay. So, brother, when you say Portuguese woman was showing you love, show me how were they showing you love, brother? Was it a lot of touching, a lot of talking, a lot of attraction, a lot of sensual stuff? Break down, just how Portuguese women made you feel or how they were towards you, bro. We want to know the whole deal.
It's all in the eyes, IP. You can see it in the eyes. I'm telling you. I know you're a brother who loves the cold approach, so shout out to you always preaching the cold approach. I think that's probably one of the best methods when you're traveling as far as dealing with women's concerned. I mean, dating apps are good. Tinder's fine. But in the Azores, people aren't really on Tinder like that, and these are very small islands. So you can try to download Tinder. You're probably not going to see many people on there because like they're just small islands and people just don't use Tinder like that over there. So yeah, you probably will have to cold approach and put yourself out there. And what I notice is when you go up to girls, it's not like they're like when they look at you, it's like they look at you like, oh my gosh, like wait, where is he from? His accent, he's he's clearly not from here, and it's just like when they look at you, it's that curiosity look, like oh my god, like who is this guy? Like where's he from? He's coming up to me. He's clearly not from here, so what's his story? They want to know more about you. So it's like I said before, it's all in the eyes for sure, as far as like the way they show you love and interest.
Interesting, brother. So, brother, were you getting the most love from the white Portuguese chicks, or were the Cape Verdean, or was it, other nationalities of women in Portugal giving you love, brother? Break it down for me.
Most of the women you'll see there are Caucasian because, like in the islands, you won't see a lot of females who are, I guess, maybe from like immigrant backgrounds. You see a lot of men who are immigrants, but I didn't see a lot of women who were immigrants from other nationalities. Yeah. So if you're in the Azores, it's going to be mostly the Caucasian Portuguese women. But if you're in the mainland, if you're in Lisbon and these other cities, it's a different story. Very different story. From what I've heard, I've never been on the mainland, so this is just what I've heard. So there's only one way
Okay.
for you guys to find out.
Damn. Okay, brother. So now, brother. Okay. How were you meeting Portuguese chicks, brother? Were you actively cold approaching them, brother? Did they cold approach you? Were you meeting them in bars? Was it, coffee shop? How were you meeting these Portuguese chicks, brother?
I would just shoot my shot, go up to them everywhere. I go up to them in the museum. I'd go up to them at the gym. I'll go up to them in the bars and the nightclubs. It was funny because some of the Americans from the wedding party, they were rolling with me one or two nights when we would go out to the bars. And they were just astonished that I was just going up to different chicks because, man, hey, shout out to those guys, those American guys, but those white boys were so nervous and shy. I was like, what is wrong with you guys? These girls are dying to meet up with dudes, and you guys are not from here, and you guys are white. What's your excuse? But they were just so shy. They didn't want to go up to chicks like that. And even the American girls were watching me go up to chicks, and they were just like, oh my God, Sam, you just go for it. Oh my God, why are those guys not doing it? Oh my God, you're the perfect wingman. I was like, yeah, it's all good, it's all good.
Damn. Okay. Interesting, brother. Interesting. So, brother, tell me more about Portuguese women on that island, brother. Tell me more about the way of life and their personality. Would you say they're feminine, they're submissive, they're coachable? What kind of vibe were you getting from them? And would you say they're wifey too?
You'll find a mixture in the Azores. You'll find women who are traditional. You'll find women who appear to be feminine. And then you'll find some women who are very independent and more free thinking. Free thinking in the sense that they want to be independent. They want to go to school. They want to get an education. They want to work a job. And at the end of the day, some of them still would want a man in a long-term relationship. And some of them do not really look for a long-term relationship. And, some of them have already been in and out of relationships and been cheated on because infidelity is very high in Portugal. And as a matter of fact, there was a study that was done. And what they found was they took the marriage and divorce rate, measured it from 2010 all the way up to 2022. And what they found was in this research study was that in 2010, the divorce rate was 68% in Portugal. And then by 2020, the divorce rate was 91%, which is very alarming.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. That's very alarming, man. Yeah.
But they got a very high divorce rate in Portugal, bro. It's insane. Same in Spain too. Does that kind of put you on edge? Keep it real with me, brother.
Yeah, 100% IP. If I was a betting man, I was betting on the stock market, that would put me on edge for real, for real. Am I really gonna put all my money in this mutual fund, bro? I don't know, man. I don't know. Especially in Spain, because I thought Spain was bad because I know in Spain the divorce rate's 80%. So then when I studied this research study, I was like, whoa, Portugal might be worse than Spain, which is funny because at least Portuguese women are more feminine than women in Spain. Because bro, Spanish women, oh my God. I've dealt with Spanish women before. Those women are not feminine. I'll tell you, they check for brothers heavy, but bro, as far as marrying them, bro, there's no way. There's no way. No. I put them in the same category as French women. No marriage. No marriage. I would never do it. And shout out to Theo Wapp. He's even stated this in regards to French women because I'm speaking in terms of Southern Europeans because Portugal's in Southern Europe, right? Even Theo stated this. Theo, I'm pretty sure he studied at the Sorbonne in Paris, right? He studied at a very elite Parisian university. He speaks fluent French. He's dealt with French women before. And he's even saying he wouldn't wife up a French chick. I've dealt with French chicks myself. I know exactly the reason why he said that. Yeah, I understand completely.
But it's a side note here. So, what about French chicks? What about French chicks that you didn't like that brother should avoid for marriage? In your honest opinion.
Ooh, we're speaking on French chicks now. Oh man, IP, bro. When I think about the OGs of European feminism, I don't even think women from the UK. I don't even think about women in Spain. I think about women in France. like straight up, like those OG feminist women from like the 1940s, World War II, like Simone de Beauvoir and all those women. Oh my goodness. If you're talking about the OGs of European feminism, those women definitely lit the torch, man. I'm telling you, and it's also with this French mentality of liberté, revolution. This is the mentality of the French, like to always debate, to always argue, to always go against the grain, to always go against the status quo. At least in Portugal, Portuguese people, like, they're not trying to do all that. They're just living life one step at a time. They still want to be women at the end of the day, even though they want to work and be independent, but they still want to be women at the end of the day. But like, it seems like the French women, they're just like aggressive with it, man. Like overtly feminist, like way too much. And like even in Spain, like it's getting just as bad, honestly. Like, the divorce rate in Spain being 80%. And then like you have the super liberal government that's running the show in Spain. Like that prime minister they got, Pedro Sanchez. Like Pedro Sanchez, the man is an open atheist, and he won the majority vote, and he's been in power since like 2017, which is very interesting and very telling in itself. So yeah, it's interesting. But then you look at like Italy, you look at Greece, Portugal, these other Southern European countries, at least with like Greek women, Italian women, they still, at the end of the day, they still want to be women. And then if you look at the governments that are running the show in those countries, you have the government in Greece. I forget the prime minister's name, center right wing. You have the government in Italy, the prime minister, the woman, Georgia. She is probably far right wing, in my opinion, as far as her policies go. And even Forbes magazine last year listed her as the fourth most powerful woman in the world, which is telling you something. And then you see the center right winning the majority vote in Portugal. And you see this rise of the right wing all over Europe. And you even did a video about it, I think, addressing it. Yeah, there's a reason why this is happening. There's a reason why these governments in these countries that were, for the longest time, more left-wing leaning, more tolerant on immigration, more tolerant on all these other policies, the policies just haven't really been working in the favor of the people. So what are the people going to do when the policies aren't working? They're going to rise up and they're going to say, you know what? This end of the spectrum isn't working, so we're going to go on the opposite end of the spectrum, as far opposite as we can. Like the situation in France, because we were talking about France. Look at what happened in the recent election over there. Marine Le Pen, far right-wing candidate, was this close to being the prime minister, or the president, excuse me. She was this close to being the president of France, Marine Le Pen. And even Time magazine the other year was calling her the female equivalent of Donald Trump, which is freaking wild that she even got that close to being president in France in the first place. Because France is as liberal as socialist as liberal socialism gets. And Emmanuel Macron, the current president, is still running the show for some reason. And even though the French people are getting tired of him. So yeah, man, there's definitely a wind of change rising in Europe. And like when that wind settles, we'll see who's around to pick up the pieces.
Facts, absolute facts, bro. So shout out to Mr. Ravenstar for the support. He says here he's a white guy. He hopes all of us succeed. Thanks for the kind words, Ravenstar. Much appreciated, man. Shout out to Mr. American Sigma for the support. Sonho Davida, that must be Portuguese. I don't know what that means, but thank you for the support, brother. Much appreciated, bro. So so Sam, let me ask this, right? So in terms of Portuguese women's physical appearance, right? Face, body, break it down for us, brother. On average, are they good-looking women, and do they have great bodies?
Portuguese women are very attractive. They're very attractive. I would say on average, they're pretty attractive. Like, obviously, they're probably not as like super beguiling as Brazilian women, because man, Brazilian women, Brazilian women, that's too much, man. But yeah, no, Portuguese women are still very attractive for sure. Yeah. And so when you go out in the nightlife, you go to the cafes, you go out to the restaurants, you're gonna see some beautiful women walking around. And like, if you got, your courage in, you can go up to her and, just talk to her, say like, hola, ¿cómo estás? Fala inglés, like, hi, how are you? Do you speak English? She'll either say sim, or she'll say now, yes or no. And like sometimes, like I was just like, man, I didn't even bother even saying it in Portuguese. I was like, excuse me, do you by chance speak English? And sometimes they would just respond in English, like, yes, yes, I do speak English. Some people will be excited, like, oh yes, yes, I speak English. Yeah.
Fantastic, bro. Fantastic. I'm about body wise. What are you packing, brother? Slim, thick, skinny, thick, 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 thick. Break it down for me, bro.
You're gonna see like all different types of body types out there, but you won't see as many overweight women as you will in the States, which is very noticeable. Because again, like they're not using like this, like the GMOs in their foods, the saturated fats, like the oversaturated oils and sodiums, like they're just not doing it over there, right? Shout out to the European Union. At least the European Union has more stricter regulations when it comes to preparing food. But in the United States, man, there's no regulations, man. It's a free for all here.
Facts, bro. Absolute facts. So, brother, like, let me ask this then. So, would you say, so, brother, how do you spot 3 or 4s in Portugal? Right? How did you spot like women who obviously throw that box around, who are promiscuous? How would you spot that, bro?
The ones who are like overly drunk, in my opinion, they're probably the more promiscuous ones, in my opinion. Because like some of the women that I would go up to, I would notice like they were like way too drunk, like super inebriated. I was like, whoa, why are you so drunk? Like, how inebriated are you? How many drinks have you had? Is this gonna be a case for me if things go wrong? Probably best to stay away from you. So I would say the more loud, the more rambunctious, the more inebriated she is, she's most likely probably for the streets. Proceed with caution.
Facts, bro. Okay, I see. But what about dressing? Does dressing give something away? You know, if her skirt's too short, if she saw so much skin, stomach, her chest is out. Is that indicates that she's a 3 or 4 as well? Or
That's hard to say because remember, it's an island region, right? So it's very humid, it's very hot. So obviously, the women are going to dress according to the weather, right? So it's like it's difficult to really judge them from a clothing standpoint if you're going in the summertime because the weather's so humid. So like naturally, they're probably not going to be wearing a whole lot of layers of long sleeve clothing. So that's difficult to say, man. Yeah, because it's just so humid over there. So it's like, obviously, I don't want the girl to sweat to death. So it's like, it's difficult to say.
okay, awesome, bro, awesome. So next question for you, brother, right, is now in terms of women in the nightlife, brother. So tell me the type of woman you come across in the Portuguese nightlife. Is it the party girl? Is it promiscuous woman? Is it women who are good to be girlfriends? Break it down for me, brother.
I feel like you're gonna find a mixture of both. Like, in the nightclub, like, some people have that saying, like, oh, you can't find love in the club. Well, to a degree, I suppose that may or may not be true. But, if you go out to the bars, if you're walking around during the day, going to cafes and stuff, yeah, you're gonna find all of the above. Honestly, it's upon you to have some discernment and just to have some intuition when it comes to when you're dealing with these chicks. When you're sitting down with them, if you get a cup of coffee with them, if you have a drink with them, listen more to what she says, not just watching what she does, and the rest will speak for itself.
Yes, indeed, bro. Yes, indeed. So now, Mr. Sam, okay. Um, so, brother, would you say that, in your opinion, Portuguese women are not wifey? They're only there for fun purposes due to the high divorce rate. You know, um, would you say they're just not wifey material? They're just good for fun?
I would say, in regards to Portuguese women, with the statistics the way they are, the divorce rate as high as they are, it's a case by case basis. And also, these divorces, they're happening in Portugal, right? So let's say if the girl is Portuguese, but maybe you guys aren't living in Portugal, maybe it might be a different scenario. But in regards to dealing with any woman on a serious basis in terms of a long-term relationship, I would say have some discernment, proceed with caution, and get the facts, right in front of you beforehand, and consider the statistics. Consider the statistics very well. That's what I would say. But in terms of like Portuguese women in general, are they wifey material? Are they for the streets? I would say it's a case by case basis because, out of all the Southern European countries, Portugal, Greece, Spain, France, Italy, I would say in Spain and France, feminism and this egalitarian mindset and this liberalism is probably the most strongest. But in Portugal, you find that, yes, some women you talk to are liberal, but you find most of them at the end of the day still cling to the traditional values of being Portuguese, the essence of being Portuguese, because Portugal, for those of you who don't know, it's a very strong Roman Catholic country. Like 80% of the country is Roman Catholic. And you find that while religion and faith has diminished significantly in France and Spain, in Portugal, you find religion has not diminished. And I think the reason why is because people are proud to be Portuguese and cling to those values that the Roman Catholic Church implements, these ethics, these tenets that they're taught from a young age, going to Mass on Sunday. Whether you're a believer in a higher power or whether you don't believe in a higher power, you can't deny that this is not necessarily a bad thing,
So would you say that Portuguese women, right, on average have a high body count?
I would say that also is a case by case basis. Because yeah, sure, there's some Portuguese women who are for the streets throwing the box around, but then there's some Portuguese women who are, very, the traditional Roman Catholic girls that, probably don't want to do anything with you unless they're in a relationship with you and go to Mass on Sunday. Like some of the women that I dealt with, they would always tell me that, yeah, this Sunday I'm not available because I have to go to Mass. Mass is the church. So it's a case by case basis, man. It's upon you to have some discernment and, get the 304 facts out there, right in front of you.
So, so let me ask this, brother, right? So, religion. So, would you say the average woman you came across in Portugal believed in God, or was that a case by case basis? Or, from what you saw, there is it a religious country?
Yeah, I would say it's religious. So the girls might not be going to Mass every Sunday or like going to the confession booth like every weekend, but the belief is very prevalent. You notice that too. Because even in San Miguel, there's a lot of Roman Catholic festivals that they'll have to commemorate like the different Catholic festivals, to commemorate saints, in their religion, because they have different saints that I guess completed different tasks and feats back in the day, which they want to commemorate and celebrate. And yeah, even the name São Miguel Island, São Miguel is Portuguese for Saint Michael. Saint Michael is a Roman Catholic saint. So that should tell you something.
So, brother, the women you dealt with or you met, on average, were they religious?
Most of them identified as Roman Catholic, yes. But whether they were going to church or Mass every Sunday, I don't know for sure.
Interesting. Okay. Wow. Interesting. Okay. So, brother, tell me 5 things, right, you like about Portuguese women.
I would say the traditionalism, number one, the commitment to family. You notice families are very tight knit over there because even at the wedding where I went to, my buddy Richard, he's marrying a Portuguese girl. And I saw the way the family of that Portuguese girl interacted with each other. Very tight knit people, very tight knit, and they value family, which is something that I really enjoy. So that's number two. And then number three is some Portuguese women you'll find are very demure in the sense that they might seem at first a bit reserved. Maybe it's because they don't speak English too well. Maybe it's because they're just getting to know you because you're a stranger and they don't really know you as well. But the fact that some of them are very demure, this is also a good thing. Number four, I would say the fact that they're still deep down, they want to be women, despite having the independence and freedom they have. And they still like want to be women. They still kind of want a man to take that provider role, so to speak. And they still look for that because a lot of Portuguese women you talk to, if you ask them, okay, what's your type? A lot of them will tell you provider. So that's another good thing. And then number five, what I would say is, I would say how open they are. They're very open. As a people, as a culture, they're very open to other cultures, to learning about, other people who may not look like them, who may not share the same skin color as them. And I think that openness is another good thing. But you said 5 things or 6?
No, 5. Perfect, brother.
5.
So, brother, tell me 5 things you don't like about Portuguese women.
The divorce rate is a little too high for my comfort. I would say that's probably one thing that I don't like that kind of puts me on ease. I'm like, that divorce rate is really high, man. Number 2, I would say another thing I don't like. This is tough. I mean, I like a lot of things about Portuguese women. I would say number 2, some of them can be a little feisty in the sense they can be a little headstrong. Like, it reminds me of like the way like Latinas from like South America can be. Like sometimes they can be a bit hot-headed, a little feisty. And from what I've heard, some of them can get quite jealous, which is, I don't know about that part. And number 3, what I've heard from Portuguese guys, they've said Portuguese women can sometimes play really hard to get in the sense that like, yeah, like they really like you. Yeah, they want to be with you. But because of maybe they don't want to seem like they're promiscuous or they want to seem too easy, they might act like they're not really into you, but deep down they are, which is what I've heard Portuguese guys complain about. So that's the only things I can think of. I can't think of anything else.
Awesome, bro. So, okay. So now, brother, when you go on first dates with Portuguese women, right? Do you go 50-50? Do you pay for both you and her? Or does she pay? How does it work there first dates?
Portuguese women typically go 50-50, and most of them will insist on it. And it's funny because even if you do go on a date with them, usually they'll prefer like just getting a cup of coffee. Like they love to drink coffee over there, and their coffee is really good too. In my opinion, European coffee is way better than the coffee we have here in the United States. The United States coffee, that's a whole other subject. But yeah, no, the coffee is really good over there, and most of them will insist on something simple, like, hey, let's get a coffee, let's get a drink. So yeah, I mean, dinner is fine too. Dinner is not going to be too expensive if you go out to eat because the prices are so affordable over there. It won't be like going out to dinner in like New York or LA or something like that. No, it's going to be way less than that. But typically, Portuguese women prefer to go Dutch, 50-50. But I mean, if you're just getting a cup of coffee, like, I mean, I don't really mind paying if she's getting a $3 cup of coffee or a €3 cup of coffee. It's like, oh, yeah, I mean, I can offer, but most of the time, if you offer, they'll be like, no, it's okay. I can pay. So, okay, go ahead. Pay.
Funny guy, bro. Awesome. Okay, so I've got like a good insight about Portuguese chicks so far. Am I missing something from my questions, brother? Am I missing something, or is there something you want to add about them that I've missed out?
No, I think we hit everything, IP. Yeah. Unless you have anything to ask me, I think we nailed everything.
Okay, so we talked about how to meet them, personality, how they look. What about, brother, did you deal with women that weren't Portuguese in Portugal?
There were a bunch of Americans out there because like tourism is booming in the Azores. A lot of people are now finding, São Miguel Island. They're finding out about Ponta Delgada, the capital city, and they're finding out that everything's so cheap over there. So they're like, well, I mean, this is probably a much better deal than going to a super expensive country, like maybe like, let's say, like a Scandinavian country, like an Iceland or a Norway, or like maybe even in the UK where prices are getting a little out of control. So they're going over there. Yeah. So yeah, there's a lot of Americans over there. So I met a lot of American chicks. Shout out to
And
the chicks.
did you deal with them, brother? Did you deal with them on an intimate level, or?
No. Portuguese chicks only.
Good man.
Portuguese chicks only. Portuguese chicks only. Man, if I'm about to deal with American chicks on an intimate level, I'll just go outside here in Boston and I'll do it. But no, man, come on. I'm in Europe, man. Like, there's no way.
Awesome, man. Did you deal with women that weren't white, like the black Portuguese chicks, Asian Portuguese chicks, or was it all white women?
It was all white women. Yeah, unfortunately, in the Azores, there's not that much diversity. I mean, the black population is very minuscule, very small. So if you're a black brother, you're probably going to be one of the only brothers walking into a lot of establishments over there. But I mean, it's still fine. I mean, they're very open, they're very welcoming, so it's not going to be hostile towards you. But there's not a whole lot of diversity, especially in the Azores and the islands, man. If you want to find diversity, your best bet, go to Lisbon, go to the mainland, go to Braga, go to Porto, go to Coimbra. You'll find plenty of diversity out there.
Awesome. So, brother, did you see any Asian women out there, like Chinese, Japanese, Korean, and were they checking for you, giving you looks, or?
I saw one Asian at the wedding. That's it. One Asian girl at the wedding, American girl. Also from Boston, funny enough. Yeah, this lawyer chick. Yeah, she was a Korean chick, Korean American.
Oh.
She's the only Asian I saw, IP. I'm sorry. I know you don't want to hear that, but that's the only Asian chick I saw.
Okay. Was she checking for you, brother, giving you play?
Nah, she had a boyfriend, man. She had a boyfriend, so she was off limits.
Okay. And, brother, was the boyfriend black, or was he, unfortunately, a white boy?
He was a white boy.
It's always that flipping heck, man. That white worship is strong.
I'm telling you, man. Yeah.
That white worship is strong amongst these Asian chicks, bro. But it's madness, bro. Insane white worship.
Yep.
We're gonna have to we're gonna have to get that sorted out, bro. Madness.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Interesting, bro. So I'm gonna open up the phone lines in a bit, brother. You cool with that, bro?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So let's open it up now. So, brother, if you have any questions, you can call in. If you can't call in, hit the questions in the super chat or PayPal donation. Let me just get this out the way. Okay, hold on. Okay, so call in, invite, copy, and post the link in here, and pin the link on the live stream chat on YouTube platform. Awesome. So, okay, let me ask this then. So, brother, when you were with Portuguese chicks, right, did you feel like Portuguese dudes were angry that you were walking around with their woman? Did you feel any animosity, any sort of hate from Portuguese dudes towards you?
Zero. None. Portuguese dudes are like super chill. And one thing I noticed about Portuguese dudes, they behave very similar to, I guess, like South American men, like men in like Colombia or Brazil. Very machismo. You know what I mean? And also, a Portuguese girl even said that, like, the men in Portugal are very traditional, but they're very respectful. They're very polite. They're very courteous towards you. I never felt like any of them had beef with me. If anything, they were super cool with me.
Awesome, bro. So, when you had dates with, so, brother, let me ask this right. So, what is your cold approach method in Portugal? So obviously you're wearing that yellow jumper. You're near some sort of function in Portugal. You see a Portuguese chick that's just quite good looking. You want to go up to her. What do you say to her, and how do you get the number, and how do you meet up with her? Break down the cold approach and what you say process.
So I guess there would be two ways I'd go about it. So like one way I would just maybe try some Portuguese at first, maybe. Or if I was feeling like, you know what, let me just try English and see if, the tourist way works and piques her interest. Because if she hears me speaking English, then she's going to be naturally more curious and inclined to engage with me. So I would like try a little bit of both and just like see what I would come up with. So first, I would probably maybe try a little bit of Portuguese just to, get, some practice just speaking Portuguese since you're in Portugal. So I go up to her, I say, desculpe, senhorina, hola, como estás? Fala inglês. So basically saying, excuse me, miss, hello, how are you? Do you speak English? Basically, that's what it means, the translation. Or I would just maybe try it in English and just straight up go and see if maybe she speaks English. So I'll just be like, excuse me, hi, do you by chance speak English? And if she says, yes, I speak it, bingo, good, we got something. All right, let's continue. Yeah.
Okay, and Bebo, so what you say to her? You say, hey, I saw you from across the street. I thought you looked very nice in your dress. How's your day going? Is that what you said, or it's not the whole process?
So let me give you a story of what happened when I cold approached this chick at a gym. So there's this gym in Ponta Delgada. It's called HL Health Club. Really nice gym that I found because hotel gyms are trash and they suck. So I had to find a real gym to actually work out and exercise in. So I found this HL Health Club gym, which is a really nice gym in Ponta Delgada in San Miguel. So when I was working out there, I was there for about an hour and I finished. I went to the lobby. I was gonna like maybe buy like a protein bar or something. And there was this bad Portuguese chick sitting down on her cell phone with her AirPods in her ears, just like doing something on her phone, sitting in the lobby. I was like, bruh, I cannot leave this gym until I go up to this chick. Like, I'm not leaving. Like Leonardo DiCaprio said, I'm not leaving. So I literally just went up to her and I just tapped the table to get her attention. And she took out her AirPods. And I was like, excuse me, hi, do you by chance speak English? And she looked at me and she just smiled. She said, yes, I do speak English. I was like, oh, okay, perfect. Yes, I'm sorry to bother you, but I was just walking by here and I noticed you sitting here and I thought you were very beautiful. And I just wanted to come up and say hi. And she's like, oh, thank you so much. That's very nice of you. It's like, oh, you're welcome. And I was just like, you're not married, are you? She's like, no, but I'm committed. I was like, oh, you have a boyfriend? She's like, yeah. I was like, oh, no worries. My apologies. Have a nice day. And I just turned around and walked away.
Okay, so you softened it. Okay, you're not married, or you don't have a boyfriend, and then you're going from there. I see. Interesting. Okay, nice one, bro. And you get a number, meet up, see how it goes. Okay, I like the method, brother. I like that method. And but it's a lot easier to cold approach when you're abroad because, again, you're in a different environment. No one knows who you are. It's fun. You might just do it. Like you may get rejected, but no one knows who you are. You're a foreigner there, right?
100% IP. And I really love how you always preach the cold approach to brothers. I mean, like I said before, yeah, the dating apps are great. Dating apps can work fine. But in general, if you look at like research studies, what they do, they'll research women like all over the world. And what they found was majority of women would prefer to meet a guy face to face, in person, in a real life scenario, not necessarily from a dating app. So you can use dating apps as a tool, but effectively speaking, cold approach is probably going to be your best bet, especially when you're traveling, because you never know what opportunity you could have missed if you had just gone up to the girl. You just never know. And yes, of course, us as guys, we always have that fear of rejection. But from what I've found, just hey, guys, you're in a foreign country, you're a tourist, you're from a different place. They'll be interested to talk to you, especially when they see you're not from there. So you never know. I mean, just go up and talk to the girl. Like the most she'll do is say no. And if she says no, just turn around and walk away. But yeah, if anything, if at first you don't succeed, try again.
Awesome, bro. So, wow, what was I going to ask? I was going to ask, so, brother, did you learn Portuguese before going out there? or did you use Google Translate when they couldn't speak English?
Yeah, like I read some of these books to learn like a little bit of phrases and words just to kind of get me by and just to kind of like respect the culture a little bit. So these are some books I found on Amazon that kind of helped a little bit. This is European Portuguese, not Brazilian Portuguese, guys. So if you're going to Portugal, I would say maybe find some books online that you can read that can get you familiar with the phrases. And like these books in particular also had like writing exercises that you can use to practice. So it gets the mind, refreshed once you get off the plane, and you can remember the exercises and the phrases from the book, and it can help you a little bit. And you don't have to be fluent if you're not going to be there for a long time, but the girls will definitely appreciate if at least you try. Because I remember there was this one chick. I remember I went to a cafe. It was called Donde Cafe, this really good, nice cafe downtown. And the chick, I walked up to her. I said, "Hola, ¿cómo estás? Por favor, please, can I have some coffee? Blah blah blah." And like I could see on the look on her face that she was like a little bit surprised because she was like, "Wait, he's black. He has an accent. He's not from here, but he's speaking Portuguese." And then he just switched to English. Wait, who is this guy? And it was so funny. Like I'll never forget the look on her face. Like she was just like mesmerized that I actually tried at least. And it was funny. I saw that same girl working at the cafe later in another bar, and apparently she knew one of the other Portuguese chicks that was getting married at the wedding, and like they were like really good friends apparently, like long distance, I guess, cousins or something like that. And like she recognized me, and she was like, "You're the guy from the cafe." I was like, "You're the girl from behind the cafe." And we recognized each other. And it was just like, oh my God. And I was just like, yeah. I remember I tried my Portuguese on you. She's like, "Yeah, you did. I loved it." I was like, "Oh, really?" She's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Oh, okay. We might have a little something going on here." Yeah.
Was that one of the women that things may have got down with, or?
Nah. But my boy Terry came close. But even he couldn't seal the deal. Yeah, she was playing hard to get, man. Shout out to her.
So let me ask this. Hold on. Give me a second, yeah. Check your private chat on StreamYard. Hold on. Hold on. Give me a second, yeah. Let me know. If not, it's cool. I'll code it.
Oh, did you send a message on the private chat?
Yeah.
So hopefully I can access it because I'm not on my computer. Oh, I see. Yes. Yeah. I'm using my phone, so I was like, wait, the private chat. Oh, there it is. Yeah. Oh, so I would meet them through Instagram. Actually, funny enough, yeah, because I was sliding their DMs on Instagram, and I would say like, "Hey, like I think you're really beautiful, so I wanted to hit you up and introduce myself." And they're like, "Oh, thank you, blah blah blah." And then I'll be like, "So yeah, I'm actually going to be in the Azores in San Miguel Island for a wedding. If you're free, maybe we could get a cup of coffee sometime." And they would either say yes or no, and then we make plans, and some would show up, some would flake. It is what it is, blah blah blah. I didn't really care. I was cooling. I had options, so yeah, that's kind of how it went down.
Okay, so so did you hit them up on IG before going to Portugal, or when you were in Portugal?
Before, yeah.
And how did you know they were going to be there in that city? Did you type in the location, like the Azores in Instagram, and it showed up the woman? Oh,
Mm-hmm.
I see.
Yeah. I'll type in San Miguel Island, or I'll type in Ponta Delgada, get that location. Oh, boom. DM. Sit back and wait and see who responds.
That's pretty.
Also, cold approach, guys. Cold approach. I'm telling you, you can't just rely on Instagram and Tinder. Yeah, just go up to the girl.
That's insane. It's probably that easy. You just DM them on IG. I'll be coming down there. can we meet up? Can you show me around? Brother, I'm guessing that you have an open IG profile, so she check out your pictures and who you are, and they'd be like, oh yeah, sure. Is that how it was?
Yeah, that's how it was. I did this when I went to Norway and Iceland too. It worked pretty good over there too. So yeah, you can try it, guys. Just slide in the DMs. It's like that song by the rapper, I think Yo Gotti. It goes down in the DM.
Nice, fantastic, man. No, great strategy there, bro. So no one's calling in, brother. I've obviously said all the questions that I can say. Do you have any closing statements, bro?
Yeah, guys, check out Portugal. It's a beautiful country, beautiful people, amazing culture, amazing food. I learned a lot and got so many incredible experiences out there. It's definitely a place to see, and it's affordable too. For any of you brothers who are trying to save money too, it's very economical, budget friendly. If you go to the Azores, if you go to the mainland, Lisbon, Porto, Braga, Coimbra, Algarve, you're gonna have an amazing time. So don't sleep on Portugal, guys. It's a really good place.
Okay, we just got a caller in the building. Shinobu, can you turn your camera on in the background so I know you're not a troll, please? Yep, you are. Yep, you are, brother. Thank you very much. Thank you, Shinobu. Okay, awesome. Turn your camera off. Turn it off. Let me bring a Shinobu Sensui in the background. What's going on, Shinobu? Been a minute, brother. How you doing, bro?
Man, I'm doing well, man. Still in Brazil. But I'm actually calling. This is actually a perfect stream because my boy's actually going to Portugal in 10 days. But he has a girl. So I wanted to ask, right, if they're not looking for tail, right, what are some of the things you would recommend to do in Portugal? I think he's going there for about 2 weeks.
Okay, do you know where in Portugal he's going?
That I don't know. I believe it's like, I'm actually not sure, to be honest with you, but let's just assume he's going in your area, right? What would you recommend?
Okay, so if he's going to the area where I was, that would be the Azores Islands. So that would be way off the mainland. So I would say definitely stay in Ponta Delgada, capital city. Stay in São Miguel Island because that's the largest island out of all the other islands in the Azores. And then from there, he can check out the nightlife if he's into just hanging out, getting a drink. There's some good lounges he can just hang out at. He doesn't have to necessarily go to a nightclub. So he can find a good lounge or a good bar just to chill at. And then if your friend's into like hiking, he can go to Sete Cidades. Sete Cidades is a hiking region outside of the city where, you can go see mountains, you can see lakes, you can see waterfalls, you can see some volcanoes. And also, if he can also go to Furnas. So Furnas is one of the small villages outside the city. I went there and it was a lovely village. You can just walk through there for a couple hours and you'll see some incredible landscapes there. And yeah, there's a whole bunch of other villages outside of the city that he can explore. And there's a whole bunch of other hiking regions aside of Sete Cidades that he can also see. And I don't know if he's into art or history, but he can go to the Museum Machado, which is downtown Ponta Delgada, which is the art museum. And he can also go to the military museum if he wants to learn more about the colonization and the military expansion that Portugal did back when they were a superpower many, many years ago.
Wow, dude, that was a very thoughtful and exciting answer. Thank you. I appreciate that. I got 2 more quick questions for you. The first is the cellular service, right? How was that? Typically, you just get a SIM card, but I know some places like in Brazil, you need to get a CPF before you can get a cell phone service right there. So is it easy to get a cell phone plan in Portugal, or how did that work out?
So what I did, I have T-Mobile from the States. So T-Mobile has this like international pass that you can purchase when you travel to I think it's like maybe 90 to 100 different countries. Portugal was on that list where the international pass of T-Mobile works as far as unlimited data and like streaming and like service. So literally what I did, I didn't get a SIM card. I just went through the T-Mobile app and basically unlocked the international pass and then basically installed it once I arrived in Portugal. And then once I got back home, I ended the pass. So I wasn't using the data there. So yeah, I don't know. For those of you who have T-Mobile, take a look into the international pass. It does work in Portugal. So Yeah, that's something to consider. But if you don't have T-Mobile, maybe your AT&T or your Verizon cell phone service might have something for you as far as a pass is concerned, where you may not need a SIM card in Portugal. But yeah, I'm not too familiar with AT&T and Verizon, so best case scenario, you might have to buy a SIM card.
Yeah, I'm familiar with that. Both of my friends had that, and I worked in Brazil as well, so they didn't have to get a SIM card or anything like that. I have Verizon, but the international pass is like $100 more, so it's pretty expensive.
Yeah.
I pay it. I still pay it now, but AT&T and Verizon are similar in that regard. They're more expensive. T-Mobile is much better in that regard. The last question I have, right, is in regards to the gym. Right, I'm a big gym guy. Is it easy to get the gym there? How are the prices? Like, I was actually pretty surprised with how expensive the gyms were here in Brazil. So I mean, it wasn't expensive. It wasn't Miami expensive, but more expensive than I thought it would be. How is it in Portugal? And do they have like day passes? How does that work? It seems like you're a fit guy, so I'm assuming you went to the gym. You were out there as well.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. In Ponta Delgada, the most popular gym was a gym that I went to was called a HL Health Gym. Really nice gym. Because I was staying in a hotel, and hotel gyms are trash, obviously. So I was like, I can't do this. I need to find like a real gym. So I linked up in that gym, and what they had was this, I guess, this visitor pass that you could purchase, which could be used in 10 days, and it was about 70 euros, which was a little steep, but it was a really nice gym. And apparently, one of the other Portuguese chicks told me it's like the most ritzy, expensive gym in the whole island. So, like, even people who live like 50, 100 miles outside of the city, they'll still drive all the way just to work out in that gym. So,
Wow. All right, yeah, man. I mean, you answered my questions perfectly. Thank you so much. I'll bow out now. And I like and whenever you go to the country, please come back and tell IP all the deeds. I love your streams, man.
oh, thanks, man. Yeah, I appreciate it.
All right, later.
Awesome. Thank you, bro. Much appreciated. Shinobu, when you go, Shinobu, I need you to send me the diet plan, please, the vegan diet plan, Shinobu. If you can hear me, I need that, bro, ASAP. Please. That'd be great, brother. Email that to me, bro. Let me know you heard that in the live stream chat. Mr. T, give me a thumbs up, brother. You there? Mr. T, you there? Give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up, brother. Thumbs up. Can you hear me, Mr. T? Brother, I'm not going to bring you on if you can't confirm if you can hear me. And you got your camera on as well. All right, bro. I'll wait for you to call back because you have a question. So great stream so far, Mr. Sam. Let me ask this then, brother, right? What about the black Portuguese chicks? Because they look like dimes, bro. They weren't checking for you. You weren't checking for them, brother. What happened there, bro?
I only saw one black Portuguese chick, man, and she was with a white Portuguese man. That's it.
That's what I'm talking about, man.
I was only there for like 9-10 days. I only saw one. There's not many of the Azores, man. I'm telling you, IP, you've been to Lisbon. I'm sure you saw a bunch of black Portuguese chicks over there. Come on, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but what about mixed race chicks? Half black, half white.
Yeah. So, like with Portuguese chicks, a lot of them are like very tan olive skin. So if you look from far away, maybe you think they're mixed race, but then when you get up close, they just seem like, okay, they're just tan Caucasian. Like they're just like very olive skin, very similar to like chicks from Greece. They got that like olive complexion going on. Versus like chicks in Spain and France, they have the more pale whiteness. But like Greek chicks, Italian chicks, Italian chick. Portuguese chicks, they got that olive skin, like tan complexion. So like from far away, you might think, oh wait, it's mixed race, but like then you get up close, it's like, oh no, she's just tan. She's just super olive skin, Southern European tan.
Amazing. So okay. So let me bring in. He's dropped off. Okay, he's dropped off. Okay. All right. So thank you, Sam. Where's Mr. T? He just called in again. Okay, we will give him another shot. If not, if he doesn't call in within the next 5 minutes, we'll wrap up the stream. So, brother, do you see yourself going to Portugal again in the near future?
Yeah, I would love to go. But this time, I won't go to the islands. I'll go to the mainland. Yeah, I'll definitely try to go to Lisbon. I heard Lisbon where it's at, and it's funny because some of the Americans who were at the wedding party that I went to, they were headed to Lisbon like right after the wedding was over. I was like, man, yeah, Lisbon sounds like the move. Yeah, and I remember your stream about Lisbon. This was back in like 2020, and it was a good stream. Yeah, that was a banger, man.
Thank you, bro. So, Mr. T, camera on or camera off? Your camera on or camera off? You're on. If it's on, give me a thumbs up. With your arms in the phone, just give me a thumbs up or give me a thumbs down, or turn your camera off. Okay, thank you, bro. Let me bring Mr. T in the background. Okay, what's going on, Mr. T? How you doing, bro?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. How are you, Theo? How are you? I mean, IP.
Oh wow, I'm doing awesome, bro. We got UK brother up in here, man. Good to hear from you, bro.
Yeah, good to hear from you, man. How are you, brother? How are you doing in Portugal?
I'm back in the States now, but doing good. Yeah, having fun, man.
So
welcome,
how
Mr.
was it
T.
like? Welcome. Thanks for the welcome, man. How was it like how many times have you been to Portugal?
That was my first time, actually. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
How was the experience?
It was freaking awesome, man. I definitely
Awesome, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have
Like, how did you?
Do you have any specific
Yeah.
questions? Like in terms
Yeah, I
of
have a
like,
specific question. Yeah. So how was like the cost of food and things like that?
cheap, way cheaper than here in the States where I'm at. Because like
Yeah.
I said, like I'm from Boston and like I go to New York for work. These are high tax cities, man. Everything's expensive, but over there it felt like way cheaper, which I think is the reason why, like I said before, a lot of expats are going to Portugal, and I can understand why. Economically speaking, the cost of living, everything, food, drinks, way less, way less.
It's similar to the UK, man. The cost of food here is very high as well.
Oh, facts.
Similar to the America. I'm from East Midlands, Northampton, near Birmingham, basically.
Oh, Birmingham. Oh, the man.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's crazy over here, the cost of things.
Yeah.
and the woman
than Liverpool or Manchester, I'm guessing.
Yeah. It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
It's one thing where the food is expensive. It's another thing where English women are also horrible too. So we got expensive
Of course,
food.
you could tell me about it.
Horrible woman. You know, it's not
Yeah,
fair,
exactly.
Bro.
Exactly.
You know,
they come to the US sometimes. I've met a few.
How are they, bro? To you? You ignore them, Sam, or
recreational use only, IP. That's all I'm gonna say. That's
terrible
it.
woman.
That's it. Done.
That's it,
man.
English
Over here is crazy. You could be a clean you could be a clean cut brother who dresses nice, has a haircut, yeah, and still you get no looks or nothing.
Yeah, I've heard, man. Yeah, it's rough out there. Yeah, but here in the States, it's a struggle for real. But yeah, the UK it's a different kind of struggle.
Because you know what, Sam? Because in the US, right, you have, you got it's more diverse than the UK. So you have Latinas, you got Asians, you got people from all over the place, right? So even though you may struggle as a brother, there's someone that will give you some play. It will come to you, right? Whereas in the UK, brother, right, it's majority white country, majority white woman, small amount of black women, Asian women. So we know the Asian women, they worship white men. So yeah, worship white men.
Tell me about it. Tell me about it.
The average Asian chick, so Chinese, Japanese, Korean, that was born here, wants a white guy. Indian women mostly go after the Indian guys or the white men. Okay, they don't really date black men, Indian women. Then you have, the white woman, and I'll be real with you, right? Yeah, brothers can get played with white women, but the white women that brothers get on average, they're not good looking, bro. They're not good looking.
Overweight as well.
Overweight,
single
tattoos,
mothers.
single mothers, and and the black girls here, bro. So the black chicks, right? So they're here, bro. But the good-looking black chicks, the respectable black chicks, they're taken, or they want the really high-value black man, 6'3", 6'4", full-on beard, and the average black guy in the UK isn't like that. So if you're an average black guy, you're in tech, you're educated, it's literally hell when it comes to dating for black men, bro. Let me tell you, brothers in the chat, black British guys who are average are going through hell when it comes to dating. Ain't that right, Mr. T?
Of course, without no doubt, man, without a doubt.
Dang, that's
to get the top-notch women, you have to be an athlete or rapper or anyone of high status. If you're not that, you're finished.
Yeah, that's crazy. And also the women are overweight. Man, too many Yorkshire puddings, too much fish and chips. Oh man, too much meat pies. Oh man.
Yeah. It's just
insane,
it's just
bro.
wild over here. It's like me,
know,
I've what were you gonna say, IP?
You go.
Oh yeah, so me traveling to Birmingham is pretty wild there as well. Very wild, you know. See, the top-notch woman, they're going of like white men specifically.
Do you know what? And this might sound crazy, but I'd rather be in America right now as a black British guy. I'd rather be in America right now than in the UK. I know America is a different beast, but you know, you can make more money in America. You can get women, but for recreational purposes only. Like with our accent, you know, with the tech stuff that's going for us, right? We can pull some women, right, just for recreational purposes while we plan to go abroad. I'd rather be in America right now. UK, Sam, we're getting no play.
Extremely bad.
It's extremely bad. Like a huge segment of men, bro, aren't getting looks from any woman, brother. They've not smashed for years, Sam. It's insane, bro. It's so bad here, brother. Let me bring in Shinobu in the background. Shinobu Sensory. Shinobu, I asked you to email me the vegan diet plan, please. I need that ASAP, brother. I'm gonna bring you in, brother, right now. Don't turn your camera on. I know who you are. Don't do it, bro. I'm gonna bring you in right now, Shinobu. How you doing? What's up, bro? You good?
Yeah, man. You know what? You're right. You asked me that a couple months ago. I didn't think you were serious, but now that I know that, I'll send you the meal plan, man. But I'm glad you asked about that because it actually kind of segues into what I'm talking about. One, I will comment on what you said earlier. You're absolutely right, man. If you're an English brother, right, in America, you'll do well just because of that English accent. That's going to help you. That's going to differentiate you from others. But it's very similar in the U.S. if you're an American brother, right? I told you about my story before. And what I will say, and I want to see if Sam agrees to this because I've noticed this with a lot of brothers that had a similar story to you, right? If you gym max, that's a game changer, bro. If you gym max, like if you go to the gym and you get your body right, it goes from essentially getting no play to like the woman viscerally, like on a visceral animalistic level wanting you. Like it's just, I'm telling you, if you gym max, that's my biggest advice to anyone who's struggling, especially if you're a black man, because as Pooh would say, you're blessed with that Super Saiyan 3 genetics. So, like, I went from benching 85 pounds to 225. That's two plates for anyone who doesn't work out, by the way, right? In 6 weeks. I mean, people accuse me of being on steroids. I was a long distance runner. I never lifted in my life until college. And to see the difference, right, that my body made just a couple months from lifting, right? Being a black dude, you're just gonna, you're just blessed with that. You have higher testosterone. You'll do much better than those other races. People have to take steroids to look how we do naturally. So if you're go ahead.
But don't you find it unfair that that we got a gym max, right, to get some sort of looks, right? But white dude just got to be scrawny, they wear dirty Air Forces, look like Harry Potter, and who get better woman, better chicks than us, bro? It's not fair, bro. It's crazy.
I mean, of course I find it unfair, man. But that's the cards you were dealt. You got to do the best of the cards you're dealt. If you're not going to gym max, you have to do. I mean, I would say gym maxing is the easiest way. One, it's just good for your health overall, right? And the fact that people just mess with you less when you're bigger. I got way more fights when I was scrawnier. You know, almost no one challenges me now, right? But it's the easiest way to get women. Like I got women way before I started making money, right? And that was from gym action, right? When you go to the gym, right? It's a 9-day difference, right? You can see the girls viscerally want you. I mean, it's just a complete 9-day difference. I understand we shouldn't have to do this. People of other races don't have to do this. But this is the card. This is the cards we are dealt. And if you want the easiest way, right, to get out of that, of that slump, then it's going to the gym. I'm telling you right now, if you get your body right, and this is not just me, like it's not just me. I told my brother to do it, and he was already getting girls, right? He was he's a good looking guy, you know. But when he gym maxed, it was a whole nother level, right? He pretty much went to Chad status, you know,
But
and
hold on,
the
bro.
whole.
But you know, when you gym max, right, you got to do it correctly because you can be a big dude but have a lot of belly fat or a lot of body fat, right? But if you gym max, right, and you have a low body fat where you're actually toned and you know your face is kind of slim, maybe you may get a jawline, then it works for you. But I find out that even though you're in the gym and you're big, if you're not toned and if you have a lot of body fat, woman ain't checking for you, bro. So it's a long process because obviously when you're bulking,
It's not.
you
It's
get
not that
big
long.
and fat. Go on, bro.
It's not that you're right. You're right. You have to be what we call aesthetic, right? And you know the whole bulking and cutting. Like I actually have photos from day to day of me doing this. Like it's really not that long. Like I literally have photographic proof of me going from bulky, right, and chubby to aesthetic with abs and all that stuff. I literally have from day to day. I was gonna post it on YouTube, but I didn't want to be famous. I didn't want to put my face up there. But yeah, I literally have it from day to day. I can share it to you with you, IP, but it's really not as hard as people make it seem. It's about making a
Mm.
change, right? That's like people saying, "Oh, it's so hard to make 6 figures and make money or to get into IT." Yeah, I mean, if you don't try, yes, it's hard. But once you get into it and you make it a part of your daily process, it's really not that hard. But that's just that's what I believe. You know, I got into it when I was 18. I've lived ever since. And once you get to a certain point, once you get to a certain level, like you get to my boy Sam right here, you don't need to work that hard to maintain. Right? If you just want to maintain that look, you go to the gym 2-3 times a week, you can easily maintain that look. Right? You need to work hard in order to build and to grow, but to maintain once you get to a level that you like, you really don't need that much.
Yeah, but I feel you right. But I want us to be gym maxing for the purposes of self-improving abroad, right? So I'm done. I'm done with English chicks. I'm done with American chicks. I'm done with Western women in general. So right now, Sam and Mr. T, I'm in my self-improvement phase, right? Sorry. So I'm in the gym quite a lot recently. I'm trying to get bigger, trying to get toned, but I'm doing it for foreign women abroad. That's my self-improvement. So I'm trying to eat right, no junk food, no sugar, hit the treadmill, cardio. I'm self-improving for women abroad. Sam, are you in the gym, brother? Yourself?
In the gym, I'd be no distractions either. Oh my gosh. Chicks in Boston, especially where I'm from, that's one beast. And then you go to New York City, oh God, you talking about chicks who are unruly. I imagine the chicks in New York are probably just like the chicks in London because London's like a metropolis, right? So just totally unruly and like not even worth your time most of the time. I mean, like, yeah, sure, they could be fun, like mess around with here and there, but in terms of like dating seriously, it's just never worked out for me. And I used to think maybe I was the issue, but I was like, no, maybe it's just the culture here in America, man. It's a problem. It's toxic, man. It's toxic. I hate to say it that way, but it is what it is.
Mr. T, are you in the gym?
Yeah, I hit the gym, man. I hit the gym here.
Good stuff, man. We only see at the gym,
Yeah,
and also have a low body fat as well. If you're big, right, your face
yeah,
is all puffy and fat. Women don't like that. Slim face,
no,
toned body. That's what I'm going for, man. Because there ain't no game out
yeah.
here. I got to be the best. When I leave the UK permanently, hold on, sorry, but when I leave the UK permanently, I got to be the best man I can be, right? Looks wise, career wise, because I'm not playing no games, bruv. Right, we're suffering here, and it's hell for black men in the West, in the UK. It's not no games, man. Let me tell you, right? Yeah, let me tell you, right? I went out, right? So I'm putting your mic because I hear background noise. I went out, right, on Saturday last week, right? And I kid you not, right? I saw white men with women, black woman, white woman, mixed race woman, of course, Asian women. These Asian women worship white dudes like they're gods in the UK, right? And I see, I see black men alone. I saw a lot of lonely black men by themselves, no woman next to them, or if they had a woman, she wasn't that good looking. I mean, we're going through it here, bro. There's a lot of lonely black men in the UK, brothers. And that's why I keep telling brothers, right? Race matters in the West. I don't believe in no, liberal stuff, liberal values, all that stuff, equity. It's all BS, right? Women are racist. They lie to you are, the whiter you are, it boosts your dating prospects. If you're dark skinned like Akon, or who's a dark skin rapper, or like Idris Elba, it's gonna be tough for you, in the West. It's gonna be tough for you because I know a lot of educated black men who are tall, who are in suits, who are in great careers, but they're dark skinned and they get no play. But the white dudes, the light skinned dudes are getting pulling women every single way, bro. Let's keep it real. Let's keep it real. Like, women don't like dark skinned dudes, particularly black guys. Even our own women are going after white men in the UK. I see it in Birmingham. I see it all the time, bro. That's why we got to get out of here, bro. We got to get out the flipping system, the matrix. Because imagine working hard your whole life, education-wise, money-wise, and the woman just are ignoring you because you're a certain look. That's not right, bro. And when I talk about it, right, people get mad. IP, it's not true. IP, black men this, black men this. No, we don't get like that, bro, in the West. No, we don't, bruv. We don't. Do you agree or disagree, Shinobu, Mr. T, Sam, or am I going too deep into it here? I ain't crazy.
Yeah, 100% IP. We have to work twice as hard in the West. Like, literally, we have to work twice as hard.
I wouldn't say twice. I would say 20 times harder.
Oh, yeah, 20. Yeah.
20. Yeah.
Even for our own woman, bro. For our own woman, we gotta work hard, bro. But the white guy ain't gotta do jack to get his own woman. The Indian guy ain't gotta do jack to get his woman. The Latino guy ain't gotta.
He just has to be there.
He just gotta be there, bro. But for me, as a black guy, right? I remember when I was dating British girls, right? I had to make sure I was dressing on point. I had to get a haircut every week. I had to get my bed right, wear cologne, and I got so tired, bro. I got tired. But the white dudes I knew will wake up like they just that they woke up an hour before, scruffy hair, dirty white Air Forces, wearing hoodies, and they're with women. It's crazy, bro.
So IP, what I would say. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go on, bro. Say, bro. No,
I was going to say.
Hold on, sorry, hold on, brother. No. It is only highly competitive in the West for black men. White dudes, it is not competitive for them. I kid you not. It is easy mode for white dudes in America and UK. If a white guy can't get his blue-eyed, blonde-eyed Becky of his dreams, he's got an Asian girl he can get, a Chinese girl, a Korean girl, a Japanese girl, easily in America and UK. Let's keep it real here. For us as black men, it is highly competitive for us to get women. Let's stop capping here, brothers. So go on, Shinobu.
All right, I just want to see if you can agree with this, right? So, I mean, this is what I think. I'm not going to say it's absolutely easy for white guys, but it's definitely easier. It's harder in general, right? Because women are going after a smaller and smaller group of men. But the thing is, it's really like, and I don't want to sound like the C word when I'm saying this, but it's really the haves and the have-nots. And once you break through that threshold, it'll be like night and day. You'll be like, oh my God, like this is like, you won't believe what's happening, right? But the darker you are, the more on point you got to be in order to break through that threshold in order to be one of the haves, right? So if you're a dark-skinned brother, like, you know me, I'm a dark-skinned brother. I think we all dark-skinned brothers on the panel here, right? If you're not gonna what I call thug max, because that's a big thing, right? That's what people are doing now because that's the easiest way. But obviously, you know, we have a future. We don't want to do that, you know. So if you're not going to thug max, then you got to gym max. You got to be on point in terms of the look. If you're not going to thug max, you have to gym max. You have to if you're a dark skinned brother, or either that or you have to have money max, which is the absolute hardest. I mean, even if you're making good money, and like I said, according to the income, according to the Federal Bureau, right, I'm in the top 3% of income. And I'm still not, and I still wasn't considered rich by the girls I was dating. Now, it might could have been girls in Miami. You know, in Miami they got a bunch of millionaires, whatever. But I'm living in the top 3% of income. I'm under 30, and they weren't rich. They weren't considering me rich and all that stuff. So I think the easiest thing to do is to gym max. Now, you're right. You have to get pretty far. You have to get to a point where it's aesthetic, where you know people look at you with your shirt off and you're catching looks. But what I'm saying, the thing that we do have going for ourselves is that we are brothers and we have testosterone. It's much easier for it's much easier for us to reach that aesthetic than it is for any other race. And I'm telling you, it's gonna be a night and day difference. Like when I told other brothers to do this, and they actually listened to me and they did this, they literally called me thanking me, right, about the night and day difference they experienced when they gym max and they got themselves looking good in the gym. You're absolutely right. You do need to have aesthetics. You need to have abs. Like you can't just be a big guy, right? You need to be a big, fit guy, right, with abs and a lean jawline. But it's not as difficult as you think it is, right? If you're bigger, right, go on a cut. If you're smaller, right, go on a bulk and then cut. That's what I did. I was a skinny cross country guy. So when I started lifting, I went on a bulk and just ate whatever, and I just tried to get as big as possible. Then once I got enough muscle mass, then I went on a cut and I got myself super lean. Right after that, it's night and day difference. The women treat you differently. I'm living proof of this. So this is and I understand, right? You're saying the whole don't deal with the American women. I completely agree because once I traveled and I went back, I was like no longer checking for American women like that, and I was doing my thing out there. So do this for abroad, but just know that you can, if you get your looks in check, you can ascend.
But can you imagine, right, life for a short black man? I'm being honest with you. Can you imagine what short black men are going through? Because you know the image of the perfect black guy, not only from black women but from non-black women, is a black guy that's at least 6 foot tall, or at least 5'10", 5'11" tall upwards, right? Jacked, jawline. You know the so-called bedroom myth. I don't want to say the word, but the a certain object that brothers have that these women fantasize, right? Imagine you being a black guy, right? You're 5'4", 5'5", and you don't fit that, and you're dark skinned too. Imagine being a dark skinned 5'5" black man right now in America and UK. Imagine it's over, and I'm being completely honest with brothers here, and that's what I'm saying. But I have seen 5'5" white guys with not only white women, but Asian women everywhere. Asian women that are even taller than the white guy himself. So brothers can't tell me that, you know, we winning heavy in the West. You know, blah blah. We be pulling dimes left and right there. What you're seeing isn't the overall picture. What you're seeing isn't the overall picture. Think about what short, dark-skinned men are going through. Think about what nerdy black men are going through. What average black men are going through. Who black men that are not rappers, athletes, all these, hustler type careers that these modern women want in our community. Let's keep it real. That's why black men gotta become passport bros. The IT game, getting your money right, getting your career right, getting your mind right, hitting the gym. Can you imagine life as a 5'5" dark-skinned black man in the West right now? Can you imagine that, Mr. T. Sambo, Mr. Sam?
It'll be hell, man. It's already hell for me, and I'm 5'10".
I'm 5'10" too. Yeah.
Yeah. You're 2 inches. You're finished here. You're not 6 feet.
Mm-hmm.
You can just lie about that though. They don't actually look. My brother's not 6 feet. I'm 6'2", but my brother's not 6 feet. He does perfectly fine. Like you can just lie about that. They see you and they like what they see. They're gonna mess with you. But you're absolutely right, man. If you're short, I mean, I also think if you're a short any dude, but especially a dark skinned black dude, yeah, at that point you got money max, or you gotta get out of here. Which, in my opinion, is another form of money max.
Because if you're a light skinned black dude, like, and you look like Chris Brown, you can still get women because you're light skinned, and a lot of women in our community are obsessed with light skinned black dude like Chris Brown or Marion. I grew up, I saw it, you know. So you got some chances there, right? It'll be tricky, but you got some chances there. But if you are a dark skinned 5'5" dude in the UK right now or in America right now, I feel sorry for them, and no one's even talking about them. Think about it. No one's actually vouching for them. Think about it, bruv. It's a very cold, heartless society we live in the West right now. It's extremely superficial. And guess what,
It's
right?
brutal.
Most guys, right, don't even ask for the most for women. Most guys just want a woman to be, caring and not have a high body count, not be a 3 or 4, and that's it. Where women want 6'5", be rich. What's that TikTok trend, Sam? Was it be 6'5", have blue eyes, working finance, working tech? That's what I'm saying, bruv. Like, this is what we're dealing with, bruv. Hold on, I got a super chat here. Shout out to Mr. Only the Strong Survive. I like that name, brother. Only the Strong Survive. The dark skinned brothers cleaning up in America. I guarantee if they're cleaning up, they must be at least 6'2" or at least 6'1" if he's dark skin cleaning up like that. It's someone that looks like, Polo G or Idris Elba. Yes, he could do well in America if he's tall. But if he's 5'5", if he's 5'4", he damn sure ain't cleaning up if he's a dark skin brother. Let's keep it real. Let's keep it a fact. Yeah, I want to say something. T Sam in the background.
Yeah, you're speaking 100%. No, I agree with you on every point.
I know I ain't crazy, bruv. I know I'm not crazy because I'm seeing brothers that walk around like zombies in the UK, alone, looking frustrated. They got no woman next to them. I know I'm not crazy. Go on, Mr. T.
When I was going out, yeah, I go into every city, yeah. Before I know this passport bro movement, I thought I was the crazy person I'm seeing all this. But once I discovered this passport bro movement and I discovered your channel, I knew I was not crazy because I knew there was something going on here, you know.
When you discover, are you a recent viewer or?
I just recent viewer, man. Just a year ago, I came here.
Awesome. Good stuff, man.
It opened my eyes, you know. See the world in a different perspective, you know what I mean?
Facts. And in my opinion, brothers got to face reality or they're going to keep losing in the West. And, add to the fact that one of the reasons why we have problems dating, there's no first world African country, right? We don't have power in a global scale. Like, the Koreans got Samsung, Hyundai, that's exported all over the world. China's got TikTok, and all these electronic vehicles that's exported all over the world. The white man's got Tesla, Microsoft that we all use. Not a single product by a black person that's used globally on a mass scale. That's one thing. So women are all on TikTok, they're on social media, right? And every time they open up, there's news about a white CEO doing something, white CEO doing that, right? White CEO doing that. So they're saying white men constantly in power, having the most money. And that influences them. So they're seeing, and that's kind of, social brainwashing. If they keep seeing white CEOs doing this, white CEOs doing that, they're thinking, okay, white men must have all the power and the money. And they'll go for that. Think about it. We have a lot of work to do, bruv. A lot of work. And I keep saying on my channel, right? It is a miracle that we as black men still get women. Honestly, it is a miracle we still get women. Even I'm surprised, bruv. How are we getting women when the odds are against us? We're literally powerless in the grand scheme of things. Think about it. From a geopolitical perspective, we are powerless. We're not making any big moves in tech, you know, in oil and gas, you know, in electronic vehicles and lithium and batteries. We're not those power brokers. It's China, it's white people, it's Koreans, Japanese, Arabic people with their own money. What we doing, bruv? And women see it. Women are not stupid, bruv. They see it. They see who's on the news all the time. They see white CEO, white CEO, white CEO, white CEO. Flipping heck,
Yeah.
bruv. I ain't
Yeah, I'll
crazy,
tell you what
bruv.
we're doing. I'll tell you what we're doing.
Mm.
We're doing entertainment, and that's the reason why those brothers get played. That's the reason why the athletes get played, the musicians and wannabe rappers, is because that's the only place that they see a brother get money. Right? You're absolutely right. There's no brothers in infrastructure, which is what we need to be in. But because there's really none, right, on a large scale, they don't see anyone. They don't. The rich brothers they see are the ones in entertainment, right? Athletes, musicians, entertainers, etc. Those are the only brothers. Those are the only archetypes that get play, and that's really the real issue here.
That's a great point, Shinobu. You know, no, the archetypes of the black men that get play. So NFL, NBA, tall, ripped black guys, and who
In the
were
UK.
the black guys in the community getting women in the West right now? It's tall, ripped black guys. You know, you know. So, do you think a black guy, right, that looks like Harry Potter? I'm not saying he's a white blackish dude, right? But he's got glasses like Harry Potter. He show like Harry Potter. He just like Harry Potter. Is he getting women? No, he's not. But a white dude that looks like Harry Potter is getting women, or at least an Asian woman that likes Harry Potter. That's what I'm saying, brothers, man. Like, you know, we there's only one single image prototype for black men: tall, ripped, you know, light-skinned NFL player, NBA player. But for white people, right, they got the image of Superman, Batman, James Bond, Harry Potter. So you know, so that is a diverse range of representation for white guy. So if a white dude is, you know, 5'5", glasses, look nerdy, he can see himself in Harry Potter, and that image is exploited all over the world. And that's why a lot of Asian chicks love Harry Potter, and they're with short dudes. Or if a white dude is tall and he's quite, you know, cool in his words and how he moves, he can see himself in James Bond. And many women like James Bond.
Yeah, that's why I said that Jim Action is the best, but because the archetypes, right? Like I said, is athlete, musician, entertainer, or like thug. And what I've noticed, and this is, you tell me if it's the same thing in the UK, but I've definitely noticed in the US. I mean, Sam, tell me if I'm lying. But what I've noticed that the shorter black, the dark skinned black men that do get women, they typically are thug matches. I mean, they typically thug it out, and that's what they do. That's how they get the women, is they get the power through thugging it out, and essentially they're risking their freedom in order to do. And look,
Tory
I can't,
Lanez,
I
brother.
can't.
Sorry, brother.
Yes, there you go.
Tory Lanez. He's a perfect
Hmm.
example. He's 5'6", right? And he fug maxed. He fug maxed. I remember when he came in the game a couple years ago, right? 2016, 2015. Normal singing dude, singing love songs. He was known here and there, but he really started getting popular when he started, you know, talking that gritty, grimy talk, you know, fug maxing. And he's a short dude. That's a fair point, Shinobu. Carry on, bro.
Yeah, actually, most of the rappers that you'll see are short guys, right? They're Lil Wayne. I mean, most of them are shorter than me, right? The few tall rappers in the game, Wiz Khalifa, the game, they're the anomalies, right? Most of these guys were thug maxes, so you're absolutely right about that. And that's the archetype that they had to play. If they didn't play that archetype, right, then they would get no play. And this is what we've noticed. I mean, like I said, I skip all this to my brother all the time. We've noticed all this. But what I'm saying is, I don't think any brother here is willing to do that. I don't think any brother here is willing to thug mass and risk their freedom and their future, right, just to get women. So if you're not willing to do that, and you're still waiting for your ticket to get out of here, then like this is what I mean. Where I say the easiest thing to do is to gym max, because gym maxing is unfortunately, right, the closest archetype you're going to get, right, while still maintaining your dignity and, you know, your level headedness and your coolness, right. That's why I believe gym maxing is the way if you're in the West. I mean, just in general, it's good for you, but you'll notice a 90-day difference if you gym max.
Facts, bro. Bro.
I'm just gonna say, I mean, if you don't do that, then you're gonna have to thug max. But go ahead.
No, facts, bro. As a black man, right? You got to hit the gym. Yeah, you must hit the gym. You can't be a black and not be in the gym. If you're not in the gym, it's kind of over for you. I'm being serious. Unless you're full time abroad, right? If you're trying to still stupidly date in the West, you gotta hit the gym. No, you have to. If you're not in the gym, whether you're tall or short, things will be tricky for you. You gotta be in the gym as a black guy. You need to have muscle. It's just part of the black image now, unfortunately. If you want to have any chances of success dating in the West. And I'll be real with you, not every black guy can be a passport bro. Some black dudes have a record. Some black dudes are not in IT. Some black dudes, don't have a degree. Some black dudes, and that kind of blocks them from certain countries. Some black dudes, have no qualifications, so they have to be in the West. So what are they gonna do? So you're 5'5", you're skinny, you ain't getting no chicks, bro. So you have a fuck max or gym max to get at least some success. Bruv. It's brutal out here, man. Brutal.
What I will say though is that if you do gym max, right, and you get the women, they actually tend to like you more than the thugs, because they can actually potentially see a future with you. This is how I was able to get with a couple of the Indian women that I talked about before. Right, so they might like you for. I mean, if you're thug maxing and gym maxing or whatever, and you're not focusing on your future, they might deal with you for a short term, but they know they're not going to deal with you in the long term. But when they find out that you're in IT, you actually have a future, they can potentially see a future with you. That's something you can actually cultivate. But I mean, I wouldn't do that with any woman in the West. But if you're, like I said, if you can't leave the West and if it's your best option, then I will say that if you are working on your future and your gym maxing, that sets you apart from most brothers. I mean, they don't expect you to look good and also have a future. That's atypical for brothers.
Go on, Mr. T.
Yes, I would say gym max. I agree with IP what you said. You do your gym max, improve on yourself, go into IT, and go abroad, because over here, even if you do gym max, you won't get the results you want in the UK. What I know of, the results you want, in terms of options. You tend to get single mothers, women that you don't want. You don't get the same results as the white man who goes in the gym.
Particularly fat
and I'm
white
just
women.
keeping it. Exactly. That's what you said.
And that's a serious problem. The fat white woman stuff. There's a lot of dudes that are black with fat white women, and it makes me. It annoys me.
You see it. It's common.
Really does.
Looking like the number 10.
Yeah. Yeah, and another thing is, have you ever realized that Africa, out of 54 countries, not one of them is competing with Europe. Not one out of 54 countries.
I know.
Not one of them is a first world country. Come on.
It's sad,
Something
man.
wrong there.
Something is
wrong,
definitely
man.
wrong. Something is very wrong there. It's really it's and that holds us back image wise, because Koreans got Korea, which is a first world country. I've been Korea. Korea is an amazing country when it comes to infrastructure. I was there last year. It was futuristic, cyberpunk. Korea is just a amazing country when it comes to aesthetics. They got K-pop working for them. They got the K-dramas working for them. But at the very least, if they've got businesses, they've got Samsung working for them. But they got a first world country, and you're seeing the benefits of being Korean right now. Like I remember, like 10 years ago, right? Asian dudes, Korean dudes were not doing that well dating in the UK. Now in 2024, literally yesterday, it's Sunday right now. Yesterday, I was in a grocery shop, right? I saw this Korean looking dude with this good looking white chick, very very good looking, and guess what? He was short and she was taller than him. K-pop allowed that to happen, bro. the image of Korean men is more positive, successful, right? Lover boy now, and now they're getting the woman. And some of you dudes got offended when I said that, you know, that Asian men have overtaken black men in dating. They have. Asian men have overtaken black men in dating in the West. They have grown.
Maybe where you are, IP, but I don't think that's true in America. I mean, Sam, you tell me, but I don't think that's anywhere close to true in America.
Yeah, as IP said, is that in the UK it's a lot more worse than America. America's more diverse, as he said before. So it's much more difficult over here.
Yeah, there
Come on,
might be a
Sam.
difference there.
What were you saying, Sam?
I was saying, in terms of America, being a black man trying to get the quality women, it depends where in America you are. Like, I would say, like, maybe if you're on the West Coast, a brother there would probably have a different experience than a brother who was maybe on the East Coast in, like, Miami or New York City. I mean, the U.S. is so massive, too. It really depends on location. Location plays a big factor. But, I mean, in the UK, I guess I don't know much about the UK, but, yeah, I'm learning now.
In the
Sam,
UK,
in general, though,
Asian dudes. Sorry, bro. In the UK, Asian dudes are pulling better women than black dudes in the UK, without a single doubt. Black dudes aren't doing well here. They're not. Asian dudes are pulling not only white women, but even black women too. I've seen some black women, good-looking black women, nerdy looking, good-looking black woman that should be with me, right? You know, with Asian dudes.
Sam, but in general, though, in the U.S., right? What would you say? Have you seen, like, does it differ? I mean, I think it completely. I mean, from what I've seen, I've been in several places in the U.S. From the East Coast to the West Coast. I've always seen it like black above Asian, Indian. Like, I don't think it's. I mean, maybe it's just me. I don't know, but I've never. I'd much rather be a black guy in the U.S. right, trying to get women than an Asian dude or an Indian guy.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you. I mean, even in Boston, I've never really had difficulty, but in terms of a long-term relationship, it's never happened. Never.
Yeah, that's the that was the thing I was going to say. That's the other thing is like once you gym max, right, and you get the woman, then you get another issue, which we were talking about before. IP, I think it was on the first time I was on your stream, right? Then you get the woman, you think, oh, okay, everything's good. Nope. Then it's a whole bunch of other issues. This is the reason why even me and my brother, he slays, bro. You know, he does well, right? He's trying to get out of there too because it's like, okay, you know, if you're just gonna bang chicks, right? Fine, you can do that in America, but that comes with its own problems, and eventually that gets old. If you're trying to actually have a long-term fulfilling relationship, and that's almost impossible to do in the U.S. But I will say that in America, and this is what maybe IP is going to come to America, who knows? Because you know, with that accent, you know, you being dark-skinned brother, you know, fairly tall dude, I think you'll do a lot better than in the UK. But it's definitely not that. I think that's, and I read your comments on the videos. I've seen your comments, right? So I know what you're referring to. But in the US, it's definitely not like that. Like the Asians are struggling in the US.
Yeah, it's true.
Okay, interesting. I got to wrap up in 8 minutes. We're at 2 hours 5 minutes. So we got 8 more minutes. So Shinobu, I need that diet plan. I need that vegan plan because I am going hard in the gym. I'm kind of right now. I need to get the muscle definition, the slim face. I need that, bro, ASAP. So if you can send it to my email, that'd be great, bro.
You're cutting, right? You're cutting, right?
Yeah, I'm cutting. Yeah, so both the Balkan vegan recipe, the cotton vegan recipe, send it over to me, brother, please.
All right, I got you. I'll send you that and a bunch of general information. It's really, like I said, it's really not that hard. It's just about getting to do it. That's it. It's just about sticking to that routine.
Thank you, man. Much appreciated. So do you have any closing statements, Shinobu?
I mean, yeah, I've been saying this the entire time. Like, if you're a dark skinned black brother, man, like IP just said, like the gym is not an option, right? It's a requirement. That's just absolute facts. So, if you do it right, you get to a point where your body's immaculate, where people are looking like that, and you're still not happy with the results, right? then at that point you can say you've done everything you can, and you can get out. I mean, you can get out before then, but at least at this point you'll know that you've done everything you can. But I will say that if you do gym max, you get yourself to the 6-pack, you look good. You're probably at the very least not gonna have a problem attracting women. Now, keeping women that you like, right, that are submissive, that might be a whole other issue, but you won't have a problem attracting. That's really all I have to say. Thank you, IP, for another excellent stream. Another, as you say, future classic live stream.
Thank you, Shinobu. Appreciate you, brother. Mr. T, do you have any closing statements?
Yeah, I appreciate this stream and everything. Like for me, like my voice and how you've listened to me and how you've been respectful towards me is like it gave me a confidence, like I never had before, because this passport bro movement is like opened my eyes into what the world has to offer, you know what I mean? Like in terms of learning about new cultures, like learning the histories of other places and stuff like that, it makes us believe that outside of the UK and the West in general, we're appreciated a lot more, you know what I mean? Yeah, so that's my closing statement. Hope you have a good night. See you later.
Thank you, Mr. T. Salute to you, brother. Much appreciated, bro. Mr. Sam, the star of the show, another classic live stream. Do you have any closing statements, bro?
Yeah, first and foremost, thank you again, IP, for having me on. It's been a pleasure speaking on your channel again. I think it's safe to say we just dropped another banger. But what you're doing is really important, IP, because you're helping brothers to see that there's more to just their state or their city or their county or their township where they live. There's a whole world out there. I mean, there's almost 190 plus countries out there that these brothers can go to and explore, where their experience will be maybe even better than what they're experiencing in their home country. Speaking more for myself here in America, it's still surprising to me how even just safer I feel when I'm not in America, when I leave here. And, when I'm appreciated more for who I am, and I don't have to, try to be someone that I'm not, which I think is something that many brothers struggle with, especially in the West. So shout out to you, IP. Your message is very impactful, and I really hope you continue to do what you're doing.
Wow. Thank you for the kind words, Sam. Where you off to next, brother? Any country you got in mind this year or next year?
Yeah. Unfortunately, my parents want to go to France, so I will be stuck in Paris for a couple of days. I probably won't be dealing with any women because everyone knows French women are, on average, ugly. So, yeah, that's going to be just strictly friends and family, just spend time, get in, get out. So I will probably not be dealing with any women when I'm there. But hopefully in September, I'm going to make it back out to Scandinavia. So, yeah, hopefully we'll see maybe Denmark, maybe Sweden. I don't know. We'll see. But September, yeah, that's definitely going to be a good trip. But unfortunately, I have to go to Paris in a couple of
Awesome, bro. Yeah, looking forward to that Scandinavia stream. That should be a classic. You love Scandinavia, so and I know you always do well there, brother. So can't wait for that. All right, so brothers, let me know what you thought in the live stream comments and the comments after. Continue to support the channel. There's only 3 more spots left for the Python course, so the last 3 to the spoilers go. What's that word? To the victor goes the spoils. I can't remember.
goes the spoils, yes.
What is that?
Yeah, to the victor goes the spoils. Yeah, that's how you say it.
To the victor goes the spoils. So whoever gets the spot gets the spot. So thank you. Whoever gets the Python spots gets a Python spot. So thank you, Sam. Much appreciated. And I'll see you, brothers, on the next video. Peace out. Thank you so very much. Awesome. That's the end of the stream. What's going on here? Hold on.